Welcome to the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's at his ideal weight if he were 10 feet tall, beef loaf. Never holding but always partaking, not hungry but will eat, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's aged and smells like a sharp cheddar, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer talks about bobbleheads or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. If K-Fids or Aldo mention a former Cubs player, you drink. And if either of them openly weep, you finish your drink.
Yes.
Beef Loaf, how you doing tonight?
You know, I'm doing well. I had quite an eventful day yesterday. The company I work for, I won't mention the name of the company or anything, but I have mentioned, I got a day job. We don't do the 108 thing for a living, not yet.
OnlyFans.
That's right. And yep. So we for my company, we had a Cubs rooftop yesterday, and usually the way it would work is all the offices would come in from everywhere, and they'd join us, and we'd have a bunch of people there. But because of COVID restrictions, they decided to kind of cancel all that stuff. So it was just kind of our local office. It wasn't going to be a lot of people, but we were still going to do it. We're like, I will be outside. We, might have some beers, whatever. The other people weren't traveling. So I was like, okay, cool. So kind of work a half day and gonna head up there. I had a little time to play with when I was going to stop working at about 11 o'clock. And when I had to kind of be at the rooftop at like 12:30 was when it was starting. So I texted our guy, White Sox Dave. I said, Dave, it's cool if I come up and see the Barstool Chicago studios. And he's like, yeah, fucking come through, And I had asked him My Sock Summer because you had mentioned one time, it's like, Wednesday's the day they record Redline Radio. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just ask him and I'll let him know, hey, you got shit going, whatever. So he's like, no, come through. And then in the morning when I text him, I'm like, all right, I'm getting an Uber in like 5 minutes. He's like, yeah, no problem. He goes, I gotta record my music show at noon. He goes, but the other guys will be here. You can hang out or whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna pop in. I go up there and like I haven't been in that side. They're right in the middle of they're right in the middle of Lakeview, and I haven't been in that part of town in a long time. And so like taking the Uber up, I'm like, there's places that I recognize, but then like Ragstock looks all fucking blown out. In the alley, just doesn't quite look right. And some of these places don't look right. So I pull up in the middle.
They're over there?
But yeah, they're in that area. Yeah, that's the general area. So I pull up in front of the Uber lets me out, and I'm looking at I'm like, where is this place? And I know the address, and I'm looking like, oh, it's this brand spanking new building that's right in the middle of the street that I did not fucking recognize. So I go in there, talk to Danny Conrad. I get the tour, and they've got a bunch of different studios. Like I don't know what a media company looks like when you go inside there, but they got a bunch of different shit. And he's walking me in the back, and he shows me this kind of nice area for viewing games and stuff. And he's like, yes, this is like going to be the live watch area. And then I turn to my left, and I see two motherfuckers standing in the kitchen, fucking housing JP Graziano sandwiches. And that's White Sox Dave on one side and Barstool Eddie on the other side. And so I went in there, talked to them. Eddie gave me a big hug. He's the top 5 hugger in my book. I mean, even though he's not on Twitter,
good hug
on him.
Good hugs.
And I'll go back there to talk to this guy. He's like, come on, have a sandwich, whatever. And I'm going to the rooftop. I'm gonna be boozing up. Like, I don't want it. And Eddie's like, Beef, you gotta at least have a cannoli. And me, Terezi, I'm not saying no to a goddamn cannoli. And it was
how could you?
Fucking terrific cannoli. I must say, it was a really goddamn good cannoli. But it was cool to go up there and see those guys and just talk some shit a little bit. Got it. Dave had to go do his show, and I had a few more minutes left, so I talked to Carl for some bit, talked to Eddie a bunch. They were very supportive of our whole 108 thing, so it was cool to get a chance to chat them up and just they want to know about us too, and it's fun. And no sign of Chief. So I asked like, where's Chief at? Like, oh, he's rollerblading up to the office. You've seen that bit on yeah, he rollerblades to the office now. My Sox Summer, you've seen that shit, right? He comes rollerblading.
Does he have a time machine?
He is sweaty disaster. Like and I could tell, like he sees me back there talking to him, and it's one of those things where, like, you know how you see someone and you know you recognize them, but you don't know their fucking name? That's how he was looking at me. He's looking at me like, I know this guy, but I don't really know what to call him or whatever. So it comes up or whatever, circles back around, and then I'm just like looking at him like a grown man is choosing to do this. It's fucking sweat pouring everywhere, and mind you, it's noon or whatever time. I'm not trying to snitch on him. I hope none of the other Barstool employees are listening. They're like, oh, the guy's rolling in at noon or whatever. He's a sweaty goddamn mess, but you know, the office was impressive. Like the various different areas, the Redline Radio studio looked awesome. You know, it was cool, but good to catch up with those guys. They've always treated us extremely well, so it was nice to go hang out with them for a little bit. After that, I went to the rooftop.
Hold on, before you get to the rooftop.
Yeah, no, hold on. I got a question for MSS.
Yeah, wait a second.
I got a big question here for MSS because I don't know that they even sell rollerblades anymore. MSS on eBay. How much is a pair of rollerblades?
Not expensive.
Not expensive. Okay, so
no, and you remember like the most popular rollerblades that I remember were like the Phantoms. They were like purple and like purple and yellow laces and shit. I see those all the time, and I'm always like, oh god damn, these are like some really good looking Phantoms from the 90s, and they're like always $20 plus shipping on eBay. And I buy them. Pro tip, though, if you ever see a pair of Nike rollerblades, buy that shit immediately because those things go for about $200 a pair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those fuckers are expensive. So they're pretty fabulous. But
so if you see Chief rollerblading and he has Nike rollerblades on,
steal them.
You might want to throw a stick underneath him and then take
fucking steal him.
He's a big guy, man. I don't think you want to mess with him.
I think if
Chief's a big guy.
Chief's a big guy, yeah.
If you door him, he'll be out. You just take those right off and you put him in your car.
Are you really questioning that, my sex owner? He's the biggest and scariest guy of them. He's a big shoulder. He's got to be 6'3", whatever. I mean, like he's a big dude.
He's the tallest and probably the widest shouldered. Yeah. I wouldn't ever classify him as scary.
Oh, just because he's handsome, he can't be scary. I don't know. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'll tell you that.
I've never met Carl. Carl's not taller than Chief.
No, he's not.
No, Chief's taller.
I'm taller than Carl. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, goddamn, he's just a little squub.
So anyway, good time.
They've always treated us really nice, and they should treat us really nice because they're taking over the 108 brand. I can't believe you didn't fucking put that out there.
What? I just went to go say hi.
We are now owned by Barstool. Why did you tell everybody?
Just to visit, just a little.
That was the best part about the whole trip is like all of a sudden you got 500,000 impressions yesterday because everyone thinks Barstool's taking over our little thing. And then, and like, listen, that guy was fucking right. Now we're going to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is going to be the best fucking time ever. I'm so excited. I think we announced it poorly, but now, hey, we're part of the brand.
My summer's still mad about this shit.
No,
my Sack Summer's jealous that he didn't get to go with me. That's all. That's why he's talking shit. My Sack Summer, I'm gonna
go ahead.
Make better with you. I went to the rooftop after that.
Yeah,
hot as balls there. I did get recognized. Someone came up from another corporate party and rolls over with his buddy. He's like, "Beefloaf, man, what are you doing here? Like, how are you on the rooftop or whatever?" So we're chatting for a little bit, and we clink drinks. No selfie though, my Sack Summer. So you won't be, don't be too jealous. He didn't take a selfie with me, and I turn around back to my company, and they're all laughing because oh yeah, you're a fucking internet celebrity. So you know people here and all this shit. So
look, it's old Fat Loaf over there.
I was drenched in sweat. You have no idea how hot it was yesterday. My shirt was just stuck to me. It was all sweat, and I was like, you can't do anything once you get to that point. It's over. Like people were going down and staying in the air conditioning. I'm like, why bother? I'm a sweaty mess. Might as well stay out here in the sun, get a little bit of sun out here, and pretend I'm watching this game that none of these Cubs fans are watching.
Do you wear like the Cabana wear that you have, or the one of the 108 dry fit shirts?
No, I wore a black 108ing shirt because I thought I'm gonna go.
You should have wore a dry fit.
It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. I mean, it's just so sweaty. It wouldn't have mattered. The dry fit would have looked worse, actually. The dry fit would have looked worse, sweated up like that. This was just a regular T-shirt. Of course, it looked like a mess, too, but the dry fit would have been way worse.
Okay.
My Sack Summer, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. Guys, I gotta admit something. I got a fucking problem. And I'm addicted to something and I can't say no every time I'm out. Today I was out with Little Miss Shortstop, probably our last thrift store like run that we're gonna take together because she starts school on Monday. Yep. And so she's gonna be gone. The other one's already been gone almost a whole week. Little sis summer. And yeah, we took our run in the last thrift store, going up to the register, and they're sitting there, and I'm like, oh God. It's like I can't quit you guys. And my problem is fucking Beanie Babies, bro. Oh, man. I got Beanie Babies. Listen. They are fucking worthless. Exactly. And you know what? I go up to the goddamn fucking counter and I'm like, I see a box and it says Beanie Babies 60 cents. And I'm like, oh. So I go and I start looking around, right?
You're thinking they got to be worth at least 95
cents
each.
Right? So I see this guy and I know that this little fucking inchworm is one of the original ones, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, I got to get it. I'm going to get the inchworm, 60 cents, whatever. And then I start looking at him. Now, this is the problem. I've been drinking a lot. I smoke a lot. I used to, whatever. My brain cells are dead. I can't remember which ones are actually worth something and which ones aren't. So what do? I fucking buy all of them. And I just buying them. And I have more and more. I'm like, I don't know. I go, is the bat worth something? I don't know. But you know what? It's only 60 cents. So let's fucking buy it. And this cat, I don't know if I've seen the cat before. Let's buy it. And then I thought this guy was
into poverty 60 cents at a time.
I thought this
all of these are worth nothing. I don't have to look it up.
A camel. It's not a camel. It's a horse. I don't know if it's worth anything or not. A fucking bald eagle. It's got to be worth something, right? Like more than 60 cents. I don't know though. But like in my brain, like I'm just like I can't fucking quit them. Like I buy them every time, and I put them up on eBay every so often, and I sell none of them. I just have them sitting in a box, and they've been out because I've been trying to get rid of them. And the kids come down and they're looking at them and they touch them. I'm like, don't fucking touch the tags. Don't fuck up the tags because if you fuck up the tags, and they're not worth nothing. And then
not worth
nothing. Exactly.
Tracy, let me ask you a question. Each of these Beanie Babies he has, like individually, were there more individually of them made, like total amount, or are Griffey Upper Deck rookies? Like that's how many Beanie Babies there are out there, right?
It's Beanie Babies.
I got the Princess's Bear, You got the big ones.
I feel
all sorts of these fucking ones.
I feel like Joe Pesci in Casino right now, and like I'm gonna have to tell my sock summer. Like, did you just tell me you gambled the money away? Just tell me you fucking gambled the money away. I'll give you the money to put the heat back on.
Somebody needs to kneecap me because I bought a guy Spike the fucking goddamn rhino. I never seen it before, so I had to buy it. I mean, my God.
The best part, Beanie Babies all everywhere. He doesn't remember if they're worth anything. He remembers every single one of their fucking names.
Oh no, I was
all their names. No, I don't believe that. You have them memorized. I know you have them memorized. I know it.
On the tag.
Spike. He's like, we found Spike. He doesn't know if Spike's worth the shit or not.
This one reminds me of you, Loaf. This one reminds me of you.
That one is in my basement somewhere.
I'll
sell that to you for 60 cents, you idiot. Whatever Beanie Babies I find, I'll sell it to the moron I know. My socks are 60 cents a piece.
All I keep thinking is about the poor woman at the counter looking at this big motherfucker digging through Beanie Babies. She's got to be like, what is happening here? Is this guy on PCP? Why is this happening to me today?
They're all back there and they're all going, cha-ching, fat guy showed up and bought the goddamn Beanie Babies again. That's what they're saying.
At least you bought low. You bought low. Yeah. They could go up. You never know what'll happen. They could go up.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I just hope to sell them, and I probably won't. And I'm going to have to end up giving them away. You know what? I might just ship them all over to Wanda Rebate Cup's house. I'm just going to ship a whole big box of all these Beanie Babies out, and then he is going to get so fucking pissed, and it's going to be hilarious. By the way, I did rub my balls on your shirt that I sent you this week. So. How are you doing, Treasy?
Terrible. I am doing awful. Yeah, it's not been a great week.
Not fun.
I will not be in attendance this weekend at any of the games. So I'm already in kind of an an angry-ish mood, and then I got to read about this fucking Nirvana kid suing everyone under the sun
about that
for the cover of an album that no one would ever link to this motherfucker because it's a baby and every baby looks the same.
That's right.
To him, and he's saying that it's child pornography now, despite having on like 4 or 5 occasions recreating the image, like recreating the photo, and getting a tattoo of it on his fucking chest.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
And he sued Courtney Love for this.
Well, I'd sue Courtney Love, to be honest.
Is she involved in this?
She got no money, do she?
Well,
Also, how is she involved?
She's not. She's not.
She's got some money. She got Nirvana money.
She got Nirvana money. Okay.
But here's
she got
the
some
problem.
of it.
He separates the estate. He sues the estate of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
And Courtney Love.
Well, the estate is the kid.
And the dude. And but what I'm saying is like Courtney Love has nothing to do with this photograph.
Correct.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
He sued the photographer. Like the photographer had any control over if this was going to be on the cover of the album.
Right.
It's like the most asinine thing. And so, I don't want to like talk about what an asshole this person is or like, what they got going on or whatever.
No.
What I want to know from you guys, let's assume that he takes some kind of Cosmo Kramer-esque settlement out of court.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, what if Dave Grohl's like, fine, you can be on the cover of the next Foo Fighters album, fully clothed. Like that's what you're settling out of court for. What would you guys like to see him settle out of court for this stupid fucking lawsuit?
Well, I had seen something in one of the articles, like they were like, you used to be okay with this, right? He's like, yeah, and I used to interact a little bit with the Nirvana people, but then I had my art show, and then they wouldn't show up for my art show, and so then I got mad at them. So I think the real way to settle this, Chris Novoselic shows up to 5 of his art shows and hangs out, and then that's it. We're done. It's even fucking Steven after that. They stopped hurting your feelings. They show up to your fucking dumbass art show, and it's over with. Okay, you've been cashing in on your baby dick for all these years, and I'm fine with it. But hey, you've been kind of doing the thing, and then you're like, oh, well, they're not being nice to me anymore. Give me more money out of your pocket. It's bullshit,
Those guys didn't show up to my art show. One of them is dead. That's a good excuse.
That's a convenient out, Teresa.
That is a good excuse. I've made up a lot of bullshit excuses for not showing up to places. Dead is a really good excuse.
You just look dead.
I can weekend at Bernie's that shit, but like, if only 66% of the band is still alive, you can't be mad at them for not showing up to shit.
They should be able to get a mulligan occasionally, right? I mean, one of them is a touring musician. I have no idea what Chris Novoselic does at all, but he's allowed to not be there for your art show once in a while. It's okay. He's going to have his own life that doesn't involve you just because you're on the album cover of an album that came out 30 years ago. I don't get it.
So I'm trying to think, because I doubt that the photographer made anything but like his daily fee, right? Like he didn't make residuals. He doesn't make a residual from the picture.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if it's reused in other things, he probably does, but not just strictly for the album. I don't think he gets a residual.
Right. So like if it gets reprinted or something, maybe he gets.
I doubt he gets shit. His parents probably got money straight up for the picture.
Oh no, not him.
No, about the photographer. The photographer, Treasy.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
The photographer's parents gets
the photographer's parents too, but the photographer probably just got straight up paid. Like you don't get points on an album.
Chris Novoselic showed up to their art show, so that's why they're not suing.
Yeah. And that guy, and then the guy probably got like the actual baby dude. He probably got like $250 or something, right? Like nothing. Like it's like a day rate probably too, right? And
sure. But
so it's not like
he's been living off this like his whole life. Like
right. Oh no, it's asinine.
He's talking like there's interviews with him from like 5-6 years ago where he's talking about all the different artists that he's gotten to work with. In like, you know what? I'm gonna guess. I haven't seen any of his art. I bet it sucks. I bet it's fucking terrible. Yeah. And he's had all these opportunities for him and he fucked them all up. and now he wants this money. Fuck him.
I like that you're having a shit week and this still pisses you off. You're just like, you know what?
I think normally I shrug it
this
off.
Goddamn motherfucking millennial or whatever the fuck he is. It's like I've run this out to the end. Like I've ridden it all the way to the end. I can't make any more money out of it. So you know what I gotta do? I gotta sue, because that's what you do. And you know what I hope he gets? I hope he gets a big stiff right in the fucking ass. Like that's what I hope. Right in punch him right in the ass.
Right in the kisser.
You're gonna punch him in the ass.
Punch him in the ass.
Punch him in the ass.
So Treasy, this was the grain of salt on your bad week that pushed you over.
I think so.
Avalanche, you know,
I think so.
Okay.
I think, like obviously another bummer, and we'll get to this as we get into the show poll.
Yes.
Love that graphic.
That's
baby.
a fantastic graphic.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Charlie Watts passed away.
Yeah.
I know you guys are Stones fans. I'm a Stones fan.
Yep.
And so that's a bummer. I mean, he was 80. Guy definitely lived one hell of a life, right?
No
like, so you don't feel bad about the life lived. Like he got every fucking ounce out of that life.
Yeah,
but like it's
sure.
still a bummer to a guy who I know we've all seen the Stones live, and this guy's entertained us for many years. So for the show poll, I wanted to do your favorite Rolling Stones track. Now I don't want to say this is not the best Rolling Stones track, right? Because that's impossible to gauge.
Right. Yeah.
But we can gauge the one that is our favorite.
No.
My Summer doesn't know. He thinks whatever his favorite is definitely the best one. What a cracky jagoff you are.
I don't think, you know what though? I don't think that. I think that my favorite song is my favorite song. I think there is a song though, it's 100% the best song. If one of you guys picks it, then I will cop to it. And then I'll hope you win the poll. Okay?
Sounds good.
Cool. So then you'll go last.
Yeah.
Beef, you go first, buddy.
Baby. I was listening back to some Stones this morning as I was listening to you guys. I knew this was the show poll. And when I listened to this song, I was like, this is 100% my favorite. And it's partly my favorite, Treasy, because when we were little kids and it would come on the radio and we were in the back seat, Mad Max would do the ooh-oohs parts.
Oh, motherfucker.
I'm going to go with Sympathy
my
for the Devil.
That's my song.
100% my favorite Stones song by a mile. And actually, I mean, love this. And I listened to it a couple times this morning. And I was like getting really rubbed up by it. And I was thinking, Guns N' Roses does a cover of this song, right? They did it for
really good too.
Interview with the Vampire, right? Yeah, it is really good. Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but yeah. So Sympathy for the Devil, 100%.
What a tremendous song.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Jane's Addiction has one. It has a cover of it too.
They do.
And that was actually my pick too. So I can't pick that one. But that song, Teresi, you're a fellow band guy. When we would play that song live, we would always close with it, and we would do like a big jam session in the middle because it was the 90s, and that's what you did in the 90s. Is you just jammed out. I would routinely leave wherever we were playing. I would just shut my guitar off and put it down, go smoke a cigarette, and then come back onto stage and then finish the song. It was boss fucking move. Now, we played a dorm one time and we were in the basement. So like I literally had to take an elevator up to go outside, smoke a cigarette, then take the elevator back and then get on and then jump back in. It was the best fucking thing. And I love that song.
Yeah, man, that song is tremendous. And I don't remember which there's like a behind the scenes kind of like studio recording of them, like video of them doing that, and like Keith Richards playing like every damn instrument on it. Like it's it's really great. I love that song. That was my number 2 actually.
Oh shit.
My number 1, my favorite Stone song, and this song, it comes on and like this song the second it starts, and that's Paint It Black.
Yes.
I love that song. Like I cannot, like, if as far as Stone songs go, like it is far and away my favorite, and like I just love to hear it. And I listened to it right before we came on because I was like, I gotta make sure that I remember. Like I haven't heard it in probably like a couple months, and I was like, I want to make sure that I like this as much as I'm going to say. And I was like, oh yeah, I fucking love this song. So mine is
kicks, bro.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful.
It fucking slaps.
It's got an incredible open. Like you were mentioning, it's like unmistakable when you hear that. When you hear the first few bars, you know what song that fucking thing is. Yeah, no, terrific song. Absolutely.
All right.
MSS, round it out.
I gotta go. So now I gotta drop it because it's the best song the Stones have ever done in their entire life. Because Loaf took mine, and it is "You Can't Always Get What You Wanted," because what you need. And that song is the best song. It was in. I'm pretty sure it was in fucking The Big Chill. And that song made the entire soundtrack, and that soundtrack kicks motherfucking ass.
Yeah, it does.
This song is by far and away the best fucking goddamn Rolling Stones song that they've ever made. So I'm going to throw that up there, and I look forward to kicking your guys' ass.
I like that you're not going to be able to fit your title. I made sure I got on.
I know. I want to see how you shorten it down and then ruin it because no one knows what it is.
The only other one I had that I really like this track too, although it's probably it's obviously not my favorite, is "Under My Thumb." I really like that.
That's a good song too. And it's funny today out at the thrift stores, and they have like not Muzak, but they have like whatever playing. Abundance of Rolling Stone songs.
Sure.
I have not heard this, and I'm sure Mick and Keith are somewhere like counting money, going, "God damn, we're gonna miss Charlie, but this is great. We got like 17 in like 2 days because that motherfucker died." And I didn't want to say this, and didn't want to put it in form like write it out, but like if one Stone was gonna die now, like between all of the four guys, like who's like easily replaced, like the most replaceable. Like Ronnie Wood is probably just slightly above Charlie Watts on like the easily replaceable. Like,
well, I mean, like
right? you can't lose Mick and you can't lose Keith.
You can't lose Keith.
But you can lose Charlie or you can lose fucking Ronnie.
And
they can go. But
that's not from musician.
Hands off.
That's not from like musicianship, right?
No.
You can replace Keith Richards. He's a corpse on guitar at this point. But but he's iconic. Like it wouldn't make sense to see the Stones without Keith Richards.
No, that's a question for you, Treasy. I agree with this, but let's roll back to the musicianship for a bit. What do you think of Keith as a guitar player? I'm prime Keith, not like right now trying to do shit. I'm talking about like, that era.
So you know what category I put him in? I put him in like a Bruce Springsteen or Pete Townsend kind of area of guitarist, where I don't think like he's an incredible guitarist. Like he's not gonna be the lead player.
Yeah.
Right. He's a very, very good musician. And like his ear for music is incredible. Right. And like that's why you see him. And his rhythm too. I think that's one thing that's underrated a lot of times on guitarists. Yeah. And so when you see Keith Richards play bass, you're just like, yeah, that's how that bass line needs to go. But like just a guitarist playing it normally would not kind of catch that groove. Like, so like, I think Keith is tremendous in that. And his songwriting is awesome. I also like one thing about Keith Richards' beef, and I think you already know this, but like he only plays, I think, 5 strings of the 6 on his guitar. Like he doesn't even have the 6th string on his guitar. Yeah. And he once said something, they were asking him about his guitar, and he said, I don't know, I can take any guitar, the most expensive guitar you could come up with, and I can make it sound like shit in 30 minutes.
Well, some of the Stones songs are like an open G tuning and shit. They're not standard. And like, I like that you mentioned the songwriting. For my money, Keith is a great writer of a riff, a recognizable riff to a song, right? There's like you're talking about, there's a lead player and there's like great people are great soloists. There's people who have great tone on their guitar or whatever. I always thought of Keith as like, he writes a great riff for a song that you recognize that fucking riff when you hear it coming out of there.
He's got killer riffs.
Mailman Jack's bringing up that Charlie was the best musician. I could agree with that. I just don't like putting the jazz musician up on quite the pedestal that everybody else does.
He's a drummer.
You gotta take him down a peg or two, right? Like the Laker girls.
Exactly. So get that poll up there.
It's up. It's already up.
Already got it up.
It's done, motherfucker.
I got another question for you guys, and that is, what are you drinking?
Oh,
ooh, baby.
Woo, woo.
All right, MSS, what are you drinking?
So tonight I started off with a Scottish ale that my man Brewhand Luke gave me from Skeleton Key a while ago. I drank that motherfucker.
I feel like
Right
MSS
now-
is just going to disappear into eBay. Like,
I'm on now I'm on the I Can Brew for Miles for Microphone Brewery. That's been hanging out in the back of my fridge for a couple months. I'm gonna fucking pound that motherfucker. Now, in my little cooler down here, I got a shitload of Goose Island 312 Shandy because I'm gonna getting hyped, getting ready for this weekend. So, and that's gonna be the best beer to keep you fucking cool out there in the lots. Just know that.
all right.
Yep,
Beef, what are you
that's
drinking,
it.
man?
Love that, Shandy. The Honorable Clay Davis and I are drinking some Bullet Rye and ginger.
Oh, boy.
Because after yesterday, being at the rooftop and drinking 17,000 beers, I got a
Yeah.
little congested, from that. Like sometimes the beer is too much for me. And so now it's gone, the congestion's gone away, but I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to have that going into the weekend. So we're going to see if the whiskey will get me. So
That's the big question. Will the
getting
whiskey
low.
get you?
I'm getting a little low on ice right now. I got some.
What is
I
that?
might
What the
just
fuck
drink
do you
this
have it
one.
mixed in there with? Ginger ale?
Ginger ale. Yeah, I got some little ginger ale action going in here. A
Oh,
little
Jesus.
Wow.
Ginger
rye
ale
with
and
ginger.
whiskey? Oh, so it's
Wow.
rye, though. Okay, all right.
Good
Chorizo,
God.
what you
You
drinking?
know what? I know you're a fucking ginger ale elitist, all right? All the shit tastes the same. I don't give a fuck. what
Schweppes.
you
No,
say.
it doesn't.
The Schweppes
Does
is just as
fucking
good
not.
as any other
Schweppes is-
highfalutin ginger ale that I can't afford that you guys can, all right?
I wish I had more,
I don't have
more
my
hands.
Summers.
I wish I had
don't have
more
my
hands so I could give that 4 thumbs down.
I don't have my Sock Summers Beanie Baby fortune, okay? I can't afford it.
I got
You
the
bastards.
I got some Goose. I got
Oh,
the
the
next
heater.
Coast, the heater.
Yeah, that's
So we'll see how this goes.
Heater.
So I'm angry and I'm drinking the heater. This should go really well. We're gonna talk Cubs pretty
really
soon.
good.
Ooh, we
Yes.
are. Yes, we
So
are.
just keep the anger going,
Beef, why don't you tell us?
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
that's
bit
right.
about
He's
our
first.
YouTube channel, man.
Absolutely. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us live on the stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you're listening to a podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is our YouTube version of this show, just go to youtube.com/FromThe108, hit the subscribe button. The current goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, but we're just going to go up from there. And when we get to 1,000, that means we get to start making more money. And that money will go straight to Beanie Babies, all right? Guaranteed. But hit that subscribe button. We're getting really close. I think we're at like 927 right now. So we got a little ways to go. Would love to hit that shit this weekend. So all of you watching, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button.
Since we ain't making money from that yet, My Sock Summer, why don't you pay some bills?
So tonight, I want to talk about Mazda certified pre-owned CPO vehicles. Over the weekend, I was back home in the mean streets of Sterling and heard that my father's trusty old used truck had finally bit the dust. The details of how it went down were sketchy, but it was possibly the fault of my father driving the car home with the emergency brake on. Not sure, though. Now, why do I bring this up? Because my father has never bought a new car in his entire life. No fooling. The man values his pre-owned cars, and with Mazda Roland Park, he'd be covered. Only the best maintained light model vehicles make the Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle cut. To be eligible, they must pass a rigorous 160-point inspection from major to minor components. Each vehicle is scrutinized and tested to make sure it meets the highest standards, so you can feel confident and enjoy every drive in your Mazda with an elevated state of being mile after mile. You'll also get a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited warranty, a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and finally, a zero deductible on all covered repairs. All the benefits of buying new without the price. So, Dad, since you'll be looking for a pre-owned car, get your ass over to Mazda of Orland Park and let them show you some options. It was good enough for my main man, Chirizi, and Adam Mingle, both guys with juicy doubles, so why not give them a try? Give them a follow over at Zoom Nation and check out their worldwide webpage, MazdaofOrlandPark.com. They are a Carfax top-rated dealer and take advantage of that $500 discount for Sox fans. Fuck Cub fans, especially this weekend. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom.
Nice. I like
right
the.
there in front of the thing there.
What did you think was gonna happen?
I can't remember these things.
So,
Yeah,
throws them up, and it throws them up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Cubs fans, we're about to bring on two of my favorite ones, and I'm looking forward to this because these guys are just a lot of fun to listen to, and so I'm excited to actually get in the conversation with them. So
Let's do it.
we will get into this. My Sock Summer. Why don't you intro these two gentlemen?
Well, I just saw our guest today. It seems our pod is going to change. I closed my eyes, began to drink, then tears of joy streamed down my face with the chat wide open, streaming live on the YouTube. Welcome to this pod, K-Feds and Aldo Pinwheel, arms wide open. Arms wide open. Welcome to the party.
Oh my God.
We didn't even have to pay for that shit. That's how good it was.
I didn't even have to get a cameo. I just got that.
Screenshotted.
Yo, I know, man. I mean, like, I can see your desk moving, Fids. It's just moving up.
That wasn't the desk. I do have to take issue with what the fuck is with that Photoshop. I look like fucking Flat Top from Dick Tracy. You cut off the top of my head. Look at that. Where's Big Boy? We're gonna go get Dick Tracy, motherfucker. Let's go.
That looks like it's Aldo's picture from prom. If you go back to that, he's got like a suit on.
It's like
that was 2 years ago.
That's a hot look, man.
That's a great look, guys.
It's like that's just like, hey, I own the sports mockery franchise. So this is my picture that they.
That's what I was trying to grow out my hair like you guys. It's
Yeah.
work out.
It looks like
you snagged that picture off the old JFK conspiracy files of the guys that were pulling off the train. Although it looks like a guy. That guy looks suspicious. He was in the background of the grassy knoll. Where did that come from?
Well, thank you we don't have Zoe here because he'd be fucking shit up left and right. I listened to your guys' pod yesterday, watched it on the YouTube, and like literally, Fids, and I'm not shitting you. Between you and him, like that's me, I think, on this podcast. I feel like I have the high energy from Fids, and then I have like the inability to like form sentences properly and like have coherent thoughts that Zoe has. Like literally, like if you mush just together, and I weigh about both of you two combined, in person on those podcasts. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just that, and then that's what I get from it, and that was like the funniest thing. I'm like listening to this, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, fucking Zoe's such a fuck up. Like he same things I do. He gets these thoughts going, and then it's just like what I think it is. This is what I think it is. It's fucking dad brain. He has dad brain right now, and he just isn't there. So like he thinks he's still smart, and he wants to get some shit. He wants to say these things, but he can't get it. So what did you think, Love? Because
I'm with you. I'm with you. Let me strike down that dad brain bullshit. Okay, I'm a dad. I don't talk like you fucking idiots. All right. What I was going to ask though is, Aldo, do you ever get like worn out from having to remind Zoe of every fucking player's name? He can't remember a goddamn thing. Can we get my man some flashcards for between weeks? Like, all right, after the show is recorded, you send him flashcards of players' names, and he tries to remember what the fuck they are by the next week. It's like,
I need to get him the White Sox. What do they hand out every year? The media guide.
Yeah,
and you have to get proper pronunciation too, because Zoe is like Minichino was like the greatest thing ever when he tried to. He just wasn't after that guy. So at this point,
guys, I gotta say this. I think what we need a My Sock Summer Father Zoe spelling contest. Players' last names.
It'd be so brutal. It would be so brutal. He'd probably win. He'd probably win because he's been out in the real world for a little bit longer than me. You know, most recently, my dad brain is totally fucking cooked. So
yeah, but your dad bod is smoking. So
yeah, a lot of dad bod shit.
You know what?
Zoe didn't realize
he looks good because he's singing. Because after you heard him sing, you think he looks better than he actually does.
I was trying to get my hair out for the thing because I wanted to be fat Scott Stapp, but it didn't work. So I'm just gonna.
You're fat. You accomplished that.
Yeah, well, I definitely got the fat part down. Yep, but I needed
Scott
the hair
Stapp's
too.
doing a good job of being fat Scott Stapp. So
hey, listen, I wish I was as fat as he is now. Like, let me say that.
Now, before we force you guys to start talking about the Cubs, which we're gonna get to in a moment, just want to throw a little bouquet your way. I mean, love the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, and the reason why I love it is because you have like two sectors of podcasts out there, and you guys are probably probably the best blend of it. You either have podcasts that are really super baseball focused and baseball heavy, or you have a podcast of three idiots. That's kind of like more our category. You guys kind of ride the middle where it's fun and funny, and you do a great job of dragging in the comments from your live streams. Like we kind of struggle with that because we don't. I assume you guys don't have a producer. It's just the three of you fucking dragging these comments in and like working them into the actual thing. For us, it's tough because My Sock Summer and I are fat and useless, and Tracy's doing everything, so it's kind of hard for us to get him.
And I'm very drunk.
Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind words. But Beeflo, I think Kevin and I we were talking about it yesterday when you sent us the agenda, like the rundown of your guys' show. We're like, yeah, definitely a lot more prepared than we've been for the past like 3.5 years. Because our entire prep is, are you guys ready? All right, let's just answer the questions from the comments. That's our entire show.
It's usually someone running in late, whether it's me coming home from a girls' golf tournament yesterday or Zoe coming home. We got on a bad train.
or Zoe coming home from like golfing 18 holes after he went to work. Yeah,
man's got all this time to go play golf. He ain't got no time to know the players' names. That's what I'm seeing there. I don't know.
By the way, before we get into the, I don't know why we're going to talk Cubs because, by the way, great for bringing the Cubs fans on to talk about how depressed we are about the Cubs and how great the Sox are. Thanks for that. But I just wanted to say,
general idea.
I just wanted to say I'm so glad that my mom's Beanie Baby collection ended up in someone's good hands here. I'm glad that My Sock Summer appreciates them, so I'm glad that her collection got into someone who cares. My mom.
Hey, you want your Princess Bear back, Aldo?
Everyone.
You understand, My Sock Summer. You're gonna actually die one day by being collapsed upon by an avalanche of Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies and bobbleheads. Yep.
You're gonna have like a Grateful Dead Beanie Baby in your mouth. It's gonna be a.
That's how he spends the weekend. Don't let him.
Listen,
we're gonna be digging into Beanie Babies like a scene in Beetlejuice.
Please, no kink shaming, fellas.
Beanie Babies.
No kink shaming.
Terrifying.
And also, K-Fids, the good Reverend. Whatever possessed you to do a podcast with one of our best friends? Aloha, Mr. Hand. The Tainted Glove. What's the? And do you ever get yelled at by your partners here that you're wasting your good shit in the other podcasts? Like, this is the thing I always when I'm gonna do. I'll be honest with you. When I'm gonna guest on someone else's show, these two guys will tell me, "Don't waste any of your good shit. All right, just go talk bullshit with them. Don't waste any good shit in there.
Talk stats, asshole.
Or whatever."
Well, it actually started when both of our podcasts, ours and yours, were on Thursday nights. It's, of course, the pandemic shutdown. So as a teacher, I'm like, what's tomorrow? And so we started doing that. And we finished the Pinwheels and Ivy. And then I would open up the stream. Aloha would jump on. Somebody else would jump on. And I was obviously, you really do. When you listen to the Pinwheels and Ivy, you have a 50-50 chance, especially in the summer and downtime, 50-50 chance that I'm going to be hammer drunk by the end of the podcast. Sometimes blackout, sometimes not. It goes with the whiskey that I'll be drinking. And then, so we just kept it going, and then we would just talk until you guys went on, and it started just kind of mellowing, going out there. And then, we started thinking, we were talking about this in between two podcasts, so why don't we just start calling it the Taint? It's Taint in the front, and Taint in the back, Taint at the beginning, Taint at the end. Yeah. And then, Lauren Wills gave us the suggestion, why don't you call it like the Tainted Glove? And boom, and then we got Alex Rude just giving us suggestions on like how to put it together, and all of a sudden, next thing here's me and Pete on Sunday nights talking like a bunch of old dudes, rocking out like 2-hour podcasts, which is extremely long. And my girlfriend hates me on Sunday nights, but when the Bears game starts, I'm sure we'll cut that short a little bit. But yeah, it's funny because he's with older sensibilities too. So I think we have spared you the Aloha post game YouTube. He saves them all for just the night now at this point. So,
well,
but he's good.
It's funny because he was asking about the post-game stuff like before the season started. And he goes, dude, you think I should do this every night? And I go, that's a lot of work, dude. Like, that's a lot of fucking work. He's like, yeah, but I think I could do it. And I go, feel free. I go, but that's just a lot. Like, that's a dedication thing. Like, every fucking game, I'm like, you should do like, home games only or do this, whatever. He's like, nah, I'm going to do this. And then, see what happened? See what happened, Pete? Fucking fizzled out. He's gonna text me right now.
He's gonna be upset at you. But it
developed. Fucking asshole.
The thing is, the post games, like Teresa and I were looking at some of the numbers of it and all that stuff. The post games had developed a loyal following already. And so, like, that's when we were like, oh, he should keep doing it, man, because there's a group of people that really like this shit. You know, like that's all you can ever ask for when you're making any of this stuff. Is you get some group of people that is like, yeah, I would like to tune in and hear whatever bullshit you want to talk about. You know, so it's rewarding from that standpoint for sure.
Yeah, and then with Tainted Gloves, Pete and I get to talk about other than just baseball too. Like with Pinwheels, we stick to Cub socks, you know. And in fact, if I mention even something pop culture, Zoe pretty much gives me the button, which we have like our little thing, and it just shuts me up. So I'm like, okay. So like with Pete, I could actually talk about random ass other shit. So that's actually a little.
We do baseball.
It makes it right. We talk about our favorite post Ron Jeremy era action stars, and
he's going to prison. He's
probably going to get
not Pete.
Probably going to die.
What I meant.
Yeah, he's going to prison for the rest of his life, which is about as long as the end of this podcast.
Exactly.
About what he looks like.
We do want to talk a little bit of baseball here. I want to do a little bit of baseball talk. So,
nice.
So this past weekend, I actually attended a Baltimore Orioles game, believe it or not, and their rebuild not going well. They have basically John Means and yes. So
don't you shit on my Cedric Mullins, all right? You leave him alone.
You know what? I saw a lot of Cedric Mullins jerseys. There was a whole bunch of those.
He's the man.
I also got yelled at by a security guard while I was there because it was raining and I had my niece jump up on the Earl Weaver statue to take a picture with him. The security guard did not like that. But otherwise, it was a pretty great time. But the team is bad, and in their rebuild, like I said, is in full effect and not going well, at least from what I can see on the field. You guys have a rebuild ahead of you with the Cubs. You know, what are your feelings on, like, how do you feel about how it's going to go? Or do you think that they're going to try and actually turn it around very rapidly? Aldo, we'll start with you, man.
I think I'm still in the denial stage, or not even, because, you know, I was so used to, like, say whatever you want about Theo Epstein. Like, whenever he spoke, obviously he wasn't going to tell the fans, like, exactly, like number down what the plan was going to be. But you always felt that he was being honest. It's like, all right, guys, like, yeah, I'm here. We're shutting it down. This is going to take a couple of years. And then, you know, 2015 through 2019 happened. It was a good time for Cubs fans overall. Since Jed Hoyer's taken over, it's been a lot of, yeah, we're going to do this. And then we saw what happened this past season. The Cubs were supposedly trying to win in 2021. They weren't, because they didn't have a competent starting rotation to ever be serious contenders, which we eventually found out, like, once the middle of June hit. And, you know, there was a whole Ricketts letter. Oh, this isn't a teardown. You know, we're still going to try to compete. And if it's not 2021, 2022, all the trades happen. And now you're hearing some of the mumblings. It's like, oh, well, I mean, they might just try to do the 1-year deals and then flip those guys in 2022. But then it's like the Cubs have all this money they can use. They're only going to have, we talked about it on the show, Kevin, Jason Hayward takes up half their payroll next year with like $25 million out of like $46 million. They could make additions to every position group and it wouldn't hurt them like at all. But damn it, it's a rebuild. Like you guys said, it is a rebuild. I have to accept it. And just because it worked one time, like you just brought up the Orioles, just because it worked for the Cubs, you know, it worked for Houston. We're seeing it with the White Sox right now. You know, the Royals, when they won it, those are like 4 great examples of like when it does work. But then you have these other teams, when they try to do the rebuild, it's not always pretty. I mean, look at the Pirates. The Pirates were like contenders for a few years back in the early 2010s. Their last great year is 2015, and they've just been a zero franchise since then.
I think the major difference in those, and the Royals one is a good one to bring up too, because the Royals one took 2 rebuilds, right? Like they tore it down, they got some good players, and then they had to use those good players to start the next rebuild, and then that one worked, right? Because that's right. I remember like Greinke's in the throes of the second rebuild. He gets traded, right? That kicks off the second rebuild.
Yeah. But
there's a difference.
Or whatever, yeah.
There's a difference, and you mentioned it. And K-Fids, I'll ask you this question: do you think that they'll use their money to turn this around quickly? Like, is this something that they have the funds, like they have the money, they can maybe sell one of the buildings on their huge gigantic street now and get some money back and really.
The one that the rooftop that I was in.
I hope they sell that one. I hope they sell it and tear it down just because you were there.
You fumigated at least a little bit.
It's a parking lot.
Sweaty day. It was a very sweaty day.
It's got that gigantic body bag over it for like the. I mean, I have zero faith in the Ricketts family at all. Actually, I've gotten to the point where they're Scrooge McRicketts to me. I feel like they're Scrooge McDuck diving in their dollar bills. I mean, they bought the Cubs for what, $700 million. It's worth $3.6 billion now in value, and they're operating like the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Kansas City Royals, which are small market teams. You don't rebuild, you don't tank when you're worth $3.6 billion. It's a disrespect for the fans who pay the highest ticket prices in baseball. And now look at this team they're putting. It's the South Bend Cubs out there, and they're I kind of joked about coming into this episode. This is kind of the punch downward episode for you guys, because I mean, really, you're kicking us when we're down, which we're happy to take it. Because Aldo and I have been on this. Like, if you do this,
we'll join you guys. We'll MF the Ricketts and the Cubs too. We hate them too.
That's why we had you on. We knew you'd have fun with it. That's why
we're kicking the carcass.
You don't know anything on the floor.
But no. So I don't have any faith that they're going to spend. Aldo actually I have a feeling they're going to go next year again, where they're going to do like they're going to pull Pirates, which sign a bunch of minor league deals. Guys pan out, trade them at the deadline, blow it up again. If I'm a Cub fan, I don't buy tickets past August 1st next year. I hold back. But when you're looking at what they're going to do, I mean, they had an opportunity. They're saying that they made these moves, right, and we're not blowing anything up. And I quote from Jed Hoyer: "We're not rebuilding, we're retooling." All these gaslighting words that they use, and right in front of our face, they're literally it's like, this is fine. I feel like Frank Drebin in front of the fireworks factory. There's nothing to see here. And it's Tom Ricketts telling us, and Jed Hoyer, and I don't buy like Jed Hoyer's covering for his boss. By the way, if your boss tells you to lie and you lie for him, then you're just as big a piece of shit as he is. This is like blaming, is it Corleone's fault? Or is it, any one of his lieutenant's fault? Who gave the order, And so it just sucks for Cub fans just because we got to see some great players leave. Everyone has their own favorite players, but I don't have any faith in the Ricketts to put this team back together. I think they're going to drag it out. The old second place, third place team draws attendance, just good enough. I think that they're happy with that.
That's kind of my follow up here. I agree with Treasy 100%. I actually had two follow ups. One is a discussion we were having on the rooftop yesterday. All corporate outings are 90% Cubs fans, 10% White Sox fans. And so even in my company, it's like we got one or two White Sox fans and everyone else is Cubs fans. And so I was asking the Cubs fans, do you think that the Ricketts will go out and re-sign a legacy player from the championship years? Because I feel like that's something the White Sox have always done correctly from a fan rejoicing standpoint. You want one or two of those players to hang on even past their prime out there so that there's a reason to go to the ballpark, even when you're trying to kind of push the thing back up. So do you think they're going to re-sign anybody from that group, even if it's someone who's totally fucking toast like John Lester or something like that?
Well, they already did. It made me an atheist in the Church of Jake. Jake Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta. That's what I was going to say.
An atheist in the Church of Jake now, and I want to. I gave up. I'm like, I mean, my God, and he's making the Padres worse now too. I mean,
this is down multiple franchises in 1 year.
Yeah, Larry Rouse him
shit. Like it's
you can understand why they brought him back too. Like he fit right in with their agenda, and then they said too many things, and then they're like, "We got to get rid of you. You said too many things. You got to go now." I'm sorry.
We're going to replace in his prime, throwing well, Yu Darvish with busted out, and you were really good 4 years ago, Jake Arrieta. And of course, they're probably testing him a little bit more too. I don't know what I don't know what I said.
No Pilates.
Although, what do you think? Are they going to go back? Are they going to bring at least one or two legacy players back in sort of a good faith move? Because they know, like you're saying there, I mean, no one believes they're just going down for 1 year and then they're going to spend $150 million this next offseason. That's not going to happen.
Right. I mean, I was thinking just out of the three core players, Rizzo, Baez, Bryant. I was thinking the one guy I could see coming back. Kevin doesn't want to see him back. At this point, I don't want to see him back as much as a fan as I am. Because I think there's bad blood between them and Rizzo because of how things ended, and just like the contract negotiations just stopping right before the season, and the agent coming out before 2020. I think there's bad blood that. Just from how it seemed, how he talked when you got to the Yankees. With Chris Bryant, I mean, it is a joke to me that there was never any serious contract negotiations. You're talking about like the best player that you've ever had, and you just like nothing serious could have ever gotten. And then, so who's left? Javier Baez. At this point, he's going to be lucky to get like a multi-year deal because he's hitting like 240 with a 280 on base percentage. But yeah, like that's the thing.
Absurd strikeout rate too, like 35% or 38% strikeout rate or whatever. Something untenable.
He's almost as bad as your guy, Patrick Wisdom.
We'll talk about him later.
But yeah, like that's the thing.
We're going to talk about that motherfucker.
Like. I mean, bring back John Lester so he can maybe get to win 200, but like on the way have like an 8 ERA and have like see his arm fall off in the middle of June or something. Like who at this point I don't want those guys. It would be sad because like Jake Arrieta, amazing, the best like half season I've ever seen. I mean, I haven't seen a whole bunch of baseball compared to you guys, but. Amazing 2015, amazing 2016. Started to decline a little in 2017. He came back. I didn't want to see that broken Jake Arrieta. I didn't want to see that. That was embarrassing. That was awful. So I don't want to see a John Lester come back again. I don't want to see him go 1-14 on a 100-loss team or something.
Watching them come back broke ass in Cubs uniforms is like watching Johnny Depp in that last Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That's exactly what it feels like.
If I just thought of Dave, who they're going to bring back? Because do you guys agree that the DH is like it's coming and staying to the NL?
It has. Yeah, I mean that has to be in the CBA, right?
Jorge Soler. Like, hey guys, remember him? Remember Jorge Soler? He hit a lot of home runs.
He hit a home run. He hit a home run in the game that I was at this weekend for the
Jorge Soler. I mean, Jorge Soler is bombs. He's that guy. He would kill your socks a lot.
He was like the Walmart. He was the Walmart Eloy before Eloy. Like he was like kind of there, but then Eloy was like
the Walmart Eloy. That's good. I just like that you guys caught to like how great it's been for the last few years. Like I took like when all the trades went down and this started. A lot of my buddies are Cubs fans, obviously, and there was a group text going around, and they were talking about, man, my boys are crying, they're upset because they just traded away all their favorite players, and I was like, yeah, but you guys had like a sustained success for so long. It was like I would have taken that in an instant with the Sox, even if it was only one World Series, title like that to win the division, to win the pennant 3 fucking times, like win your division 3 times in a row. And like go on and do some things like that was fun. Like it was fun to see like that happen for the Cubs, even though I hate the Cubs and most of the Cubs fans. But I was happy that like they got to experience that because most of my good Cub friends were really good when the Sox won in 2005. Like they were the first to text, the first to say congrats. Like I hope we get this. And then 11 years later, it happened. So. But yeah, I was just like, God, but it still would have been worth it. Like all that shit would have been worth it. Losing everybody would have been worth it, just to get, that sustained success for like 4 years or 5 years. It was just beautiful. It was fun. So,
what's kind of funny too is I know that Aldo probably agrees with me. Back in 2006, or 16, when they won, everyone's like, the Jason Hayward speech. That money was worth it. In hindsight, probably not. I mean, honestly, probably hired like Tim Robbins to come or whatever. You speak with his big voice, and you whatever. But
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, bring in somebody. Yeah, even George Costanza can give a speech. I mean, but now we're at that point. 5 years out of 6, the Cubs made the postseason. Cubs fans and Aldo and I talk about this on the show all the time. There's no love lost between me. Honestly, this is why I love White Sox Twitter. White Sox. See, I am an anti-Cubs Twitter, White Sox Twitter loving Cub fan. Because I mean, I guess I've had to endure enough meatball years of Cub fans taking for granted what they had, not enjoying what they had in the moment, too busy looking down the road and not experiencing the here and now. And yeah, it's hard as hell to win a damn World Series for anybody. And the Cubs are out there expecting, it should be that easy. What the hell's wrong with them? Why can't they hit in the postseason? I don't know. Maybe because they're facing some of the best pitchers in the game. Maybe that happens in the postseason. Of the other best teams, no one's laying down, and so it's like everyone flips out. I mean, the Dodgers did it right, but they spent almost $300 million to get there, and the Cubs could have done that. They chose to maximize value of the team, and I'm sure the Cubs are going to sell in like 4 or 5. I think the Ricketts sell the team in 4 or 5 years. I think Daddy Ricketts will call in the marker. He wants his investment back. It's 3.6. They're about to cap the value. When the value caps and they finish their shitty ass sports book, everything's going to be done, and they're going to go out and they're going to sell the team. But that's the problem with this 5 of 6 is Cub fans got spoiled. They got fat. They got bulbous because they got used to all that success, which, it came every like 4 or 5 years for Cub fans. I know White Sox have dealt with this. Will be the first year they made the postseason 2 years in a row in history, I think.
Yep.
You want to get to that point where you take it for granted. Braves fans in the 90s, you would see a playoff game, game 4 of a playoff series, and there's like 10 people in the stands. It's like,
we don't do attendance jokes, Kevin.
Not anymore.
That one's deserved. That one's deserved. The Braves not selling out playoff games in the 90s was fucking ridiculous, and it deserves to be called about.
Now, Teresi, before we move on to the next topic, we got to go down this path. I want to ask you. You got another question too, myself?
I have a thing. You do your thing, and then I'll do it.
Okay, so Teresi, you and I both watched the Pinwheels and Ivy had a great show when it was the trade deadline or whatever. Our 2 guests here today were blubbering and crying their asses off. So who was crying more, in your opinion, and whose actual tears were legitimate to you? Was it Aldo or K-Fitz?
So I'm gonna say it was Aldo, because like it didn't like, there wasn't like a pause and then like, wait, I need a minute. It was just like he was talking and you're like, I think is he also crying while he's talking? I was like, I think he is. You heard
the Boys to Men music come on in the background. It's so hard to say goodbye. Yes. I heard it. I don't know if you heard it, Teresi. I heard it.
It was definitely playing underneath. But yeah, and I think, I feel like K-Fids is a little more of emotion on his sleeve guy in general. And so I was less surprised of that, but it was like Aldo's was great because it was just like, it was mid-sentence just going like it didn't stop him. It did not fucking stop him from continuing his thought. Like it was, so hey, I respected it in that fashion. But I also was like, we're going to be doing this podcast in like 6 years or 2 years.
I think 2 years. Yeah. 3.
But yeah, so I was like, I was mixed emotions on it, but definitely I think I'll take Aldo with my pick.
Yeah, you guys have no idea. When the camera turned off, you have no idea the amount of puddle that was on this desk right here.
That wasn't crying though.
Urine, semen, whatever it was.
Girlfriend comes in and she sees my head down on the desk and the shoulders just going.
It's got to suck on a different level too when you like are personally invested in the team, plus a player on that team that you like helped like mold into a baseball player, and that's something that like I think that's when it flips. It's not just a game, it's not just a fan thing, it's a friend, and it's just more. It's just more in that part, and that's why I understand the anger. Like I understand why you got angry, why you are angry, and why you defend, because like things that people don't know, and you can't say them because you don't want to be that guy. Well, sometimes you say them. But like, it's just like, it's just these things. Like, not everybody gets the full story all the time. And the full story isn't out there. And the full story probably shouldn't be out there, all the time. So.
And the big thing, too.
Father's Zoe impersonation right there, where I just am like very leading and just like went off into the sunset. Yep, that's what I did.
The hardest part to me, obviously, because I've known KB since he was 14, man. A little awkward little freshman mousy dude who wouldn't have said shit with a mouthful of manure. And, I've watched him grow into the dude that he is. I've watched him, struggle, grow, become a valedictorian, be a great man, a good father, a great husband. And of course there's that, and for me, the emotion was like, it was like twofold or two-pronged. Obviously I was sad because a very special moment in my life to be able to be I'm a 5th generation Cub fan, to be able to coach the guy as a high schooler that ended up becoming the Cubs MVP in their World Series season. My grandpa passed away in February of that same year. He didn't get to see the World Series. He knew KB. He knew of KB. He met KB. Like there were so many different like emotional connections too. And then to have that all happen that's one thing. That was an end of an era that really, that would hurt. It was like when Sandberg retired for me, same thing. But then on the other end, it was a lot of relief for me and obviously for Chris and for his family that he was 3 years of trade rumors, 3 years dating back to 2000, like late 18. He's been dealing with KB is going to be traded. Who's KB getting traded for? Fake contract offers by the Voldemort of truth, Cappy guy. And, you've got all these fake reports coming out and it hurt and it was stressful. And it was extremely difficult for him just to wake up every day and just walk into a barrage of bullets. And so for me, the secondary partner, you could see it with Chris in the dugout too, because that also got me when he got the phone call in the dugout that he was traded. He starts crying in the dugout. The relief that he was finally, it was over. There would be no more trade rumors. He controls his own destiny at this point from here on out for the rest of his career, because every contract he's going to sign is going to have a no trade clause. Everything that he's going to do is he's going to have the final say now. He's no longer stuck in that service timed hold that the Cubs held on him. Disrespectful. I mean, people forget he made $600,000 the year he won MVP. Right? They service timed his ass and cost him $26 million. That would have been something that would come this year. So that was a relief too. So like the emotional relief, that was almost cathartic too. Like, cause again, now I'm like salty as shit. Every time he hits a home run, I'm like on Twitter, letting everybody hear it. The distance, the exit velocity, the launch angle. You're getting it all, because you know what? You get no reprieve. There's no quarter.
So, just for you keeping track at home while you're listening or watching this, K-Fid said KB or Chris Bryant about 15 times. That's a lot. Just finish whatever you're drinking. Just finish it.
That was the game.
Hey, before we move on to the next segment, I just have a little chart that I put together for you guys, and it's MSS's ways to survive a rebuild. Okay. So these are some hints and some things that I thought of that helped me the last 9 years, and I'll help you out.
Here, Lloyd, this helps.
I West.
We're gonna get there. You just hold on. Number one, focus on other things than the baseball game. Giveaways. Talk about the minors. Maybe just talk about fan interactions. That's good. 2, drink. Drink and repeat. So just keep drinking. Number 3, find happiness in the little things, like a sweet homer or a guy not getting hurt sliding into second. 4, enjoy the folk heroes. They will come and go, but enjoy them, dudes, because they're going to give you the most fun. Like watching Daniel Palka hit 24 home runs in a season made our fucking year. It didn't matter that he interacted with us and was a fucking awesome dude. 27, whatever. Whatever. I don't.
So memorable.
Shut up. It was really good. It was really fun. But you have to enjoy those. 5, and this is the biggest one. Content is more challenging. So just go do all the fun stuff. Do crazy shit that you never thought you would do. You don't need to focus on numbers because nobody cares and nobody knows who the players are anyway. So just just write about something. Listen, look at our blogs from probably 2016 to 2018. Any of those blogs you could recreate this at Wrigley and it would probably do really good numbers.
I do feel like you just encouraged us to have unprotected sex to get through this. I feel like that's encouraged. That we should just have reckless rando. Never mind. Okay.
I heard him say raw dog in there.
Yeah, that was in there.
But the Cubs are really missing though to really kick off this rebuild is a crazy 2016 season that the Sox had, that in spring training when there was the whole Adam LaRoche thing, and then during the season when Chris Hale was ripping up jerseys or whatever he was doing. So the Cubs need those stupid crazy stories starting next year to really up the entertainment value, because right now it's guys that Beefloaf knows more about than I do.
Allegedly.
Was that it, MSS?
Yeah, that was it. I said 5 things. I just want to do 5 things.
I love it.
Not 3 things, just 5 things.
5 things. So we alluded to this a little while ago, but the Sox fans are probably not terribly familiar with the Cubs roster right now. I know I'm not terribly familiar with it. So we were hoping that you guys could come on and give us a few players that we need to learn to hate by this weekend. So guys that shouldn't be good and are gonna hit home runs or something, or guys that are gonna come in and shut down the Sox from the pitching side that we're gonna be angry about. Anyone who can upset us in this upcoming weekend that you guys are they don't even have to be guys where you're I'm looking forward to this guy being on the roster next year. They could just be a guy that you're this is going to piss you off this coming weekend. So either one of you guys could go on and jump in first and tell us who we should hate.
Go ahead, Kevin.
You go for it all. You got it.
I think we had one of the names I think we're gonna have in common. This guy's like a dumb, goofy face. I have no clue who he was when he was on the team. I just remember one day he was in the lineup. I'm like, who the hell is Frank Schwindel? He's been hot for like 2.5 weeks. I don't know. He'll probably hit. Maybe he'll hit like a couple home runs, get into a fastball from like Cease or Lynn. Your guy Cody Hoyer. He's been great since the trade, so he'll go in there. I know Sox fans are gonna hate him anyway.
He's fucking dead to me. All right, Cody Hoyer is dead to me. All right.
Well, that's why.
Because during the season, before the season, he followed me, and I said, I'm gonna take your Twitter account up, and I got him 400 followers, and then he hit it and quit it. He dropped me like a $2 hoe and unfollowed me. So fuck that guy. I hope he gets lit up. He's been pitching well. I hope he gets lit up. You bring up Frank Schwindel, and I'm glad you did, because we did a live show at Buffalo Wings and Rings back on August 10th, and we were talking about the Cubs series that had just happened, and we were trying to pick like real vocations for some of these players. And Frank Schwindel, I said, was a heating and air guy. But it turns out Frank Schwindel fucking murders baseballs. And I was at the rooftop yesterday when he hit a fucking triple. And the guy so far, I plucked his stats since the trade deadline. Here's the slash line since the trade deadline. 372 average, 430 on base, 654 slug. He has a WRC plus of 186. This guy's murdering the fucking ball. And he was the guy we were making fun of 3 weeks ago, Treasy. This guy's killing the ball. I think he's number one on our fucking hit list this weekend.
I'm almost positive I said that he sold like custom neckerchiefs on Etsy.
That's all right. Schwindel's. I can't stop with either the Wayne's World references or the sweaty ball references. I can't. Like it's swing, and people can't resist my sweaty ball. So it's like, and now we've got so many swish jokes. And you were, ironically enough, the funny part here is that the last time that my 108 experience earlier this year, back in June or whatever, he blew the lead for the White Sox. All I was riding the right fielder for the damn Tigers. Oh my God, we're riding the guy for wearing a left-handed arm sleeve, and he's right-handed. And then all of a sudden, where did that lead go? But we did get a walk-off. So I'm a good luck when I'm at the Sox game. 1-0 since 1998. So
how about you, K-Fitz? Give us someone who we should fucking absolutely hate this weekend. We're gonna get our Sox people behind it. We'll boo this person when they come up to the plate, or when they come out of the bullpen on the mound, or whatever. So let us know.
Well, it's low-hanging fruit to say Justin Steele just because he has a porn star name. I mean, it sounds like he's, digging tunnels, so we won't go there. I don't want anybody to feel bad. But honestly, I could pull up an old reliable. We got Ian Happ right now. Ian Happ, you guys know Ian Happ. He had a really good last year in 2020 in 60 games. He jumped on the Morale blend coffee, if you're familiar with that, and it's pretty fucking stale, actually. It's pretty much like old coffee grounds in the garbage can dumpster. So he's been kind of like, so it's almost like, again, that's punching downward, that's beating a dead horse, but I'm going to go with Kyle Hendricks. If you guys see him, if you see his face at all, you're going to
Sunday matchup.
Yep.
Be pissed off, because that son of a bitch is John Hammond's grandson. He won't talk about the time that he was electrocuted by a dinosaur containment fence at Jurassic Park. I mean, if you don't know this, he is Joe Mazzello. He was John Deacon in Bohemian Rhapsody. He was Eugene Sledge in The Pacific. This man's lived a lot of lives, and Kyle Hendricks is sneaky. So if you haven't seen him, if you put a side by side on those two, really, there's no difference. Joe Mazzello, the motion picture actor, and Kyle Hendricks are the same people, and they probably are about as socially awkward as they are together. So I would go after him a little bit. He would be fun, because you won't know if you pissed him off or not. He might be crying on the inside. He might be fighting you, stabbing you on the inside, but all you're going to get is silence, like just a poker face. Because if he shows emotions, he's
a guy I already hate. He's just because, I don't. Yeah. It's one of those pitchers that you just really dislike when you face him, because they are a frustrating pitcher to go against. It's not like a guy who's overpowering and he's going to like strike out 15 guys or something. It's like he just makes everyone hit ground balls or like weak shit, and it's a grind to watch your team go through that. And I remember when Dallas Keuchel used to be able to pitch like that, but that's a long time ago.
Man, I had to like go plug in the computer, and it was a fucking thing. So that's why I was gone for a little while. I appreciate that. Waldo made sure I was going to be there safe. You guys didn't bring up Austin Romine, did you?
Well, no, because aren't there two Romans?
Andrew and Austin's the one who hit the home run off Kimbrel, isn't it?
Which Roman do you want?
So Austin looks like the dollar store version of Lance Lynn, but I don't know how tall he is because I only saw his headshot. So I don't know if he's like a tall dude or is he a little dude. He's a catcher.
That's a good question because I honestly, you can show me a picture of him right now. I wouldn't.
You don't know either. Love it.
He'd be just
love it.
Baseball player with a cliche beard. That's basically it. The cliche beard. Everyone.
There's a guy that I was going to say that I'm going to cheer for this weekend. I know this isn't part of the agenda, guys, and I'm sorry to Loaf and Chirizi, but that's my thing. That's what I do. I'm going to cheer for the outfielder Michael Hermosillo. And the reason I'm cheering for him is because he's from Ottawa, which is very close to Sterling, which is where I'm from. I don't know if you guys know, but I lived out west in Sterling, Illinois for a while and in California for a little bit. So he knows what's up. So that's the guy I'm cheering for. Guy was born in Mesa, Arizona, and somehow found his way to Ottawa, Illinois. I don't know how this happened.
Yes.
Yes. But no. So he also, I was looking him up, because he played for the Angels for a while too, and he's part of that picture where he's catching the ball in Oakland, and they have all of the big stuffed teddy bears out there in left field.
Yeah.
Then like a couple of the stuffed elephants. I was like, oh, this is my guy. I hope
it's your Beanie Baby fetish again, yeah.
Yes. You know what? Aldo, you're smart. Because you know what? I'm gonna bring a fucking elephant one and a teddy bear one. I'm gonna have the motherfucker sign it, and then I'm gonna put it right next to the fucking picture that he's catching that shit. You're a goddamn genius, and I'm gonna send you 15% just because of it. So when you get that quarter, be happy.
Aldo, give us another one that we could root against. And please make it a guy who I'm already pissed off about.
Oh, well, I was going to say another pitcher. I mean, do you want me to say Patrick Wisdom?
Yes, because you, on your goddamn trade show, after you were done wiping tears off your face, you had the nerve to say Patrick Wisdom is better than Jose Abreu.
Look at the numbers.
And the comments absolutely destroy you. And the funniest comment was, Aloha, Mr. Haney. He's like, I want to see Patrick Wisdom eat his fucking passport like Abreu.
That was great.
Because if he hasn't done it, then he ain't better than Jose Abreu. I don't want to look at a 20-game sample. Get the fuck out of here. The guy won MVP last year. Patrick Wisdom kissed my ass, and I will.
Hey, Patrick Wisdom played in a 60-game season. You probably win MVP this year.
Absolutely not.
Vladito is hitting like 700 in the last 60 games. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, guys, don't worry, though.
NL MVP.
Club fans will tell you that Patrick Wisdom is an ample replacement for that other guy they just traded to the Giants.
I mean,
Patrick Wisdom is this year's like, he's this year's Polka because, he's 30 years old. He's not he's not going to matter, but it's great. He has like 21 home runs or something. Like, cool.
No Polka slander, motherfucker.
Cubs and White Sox both this year got like almost 30-year-old rookies that tore it up for a short amount of time.
I mean, Patrick Wisdom has hit this year, although I pulled the stats since
he's slumping.
Trade deadline. He's got a 43% strikeout rate since then. So I think maybe the Patrick Wisdom is better than Jose Abreu comment might be aging poorly. I'm not
maybe
sure.
I jinxed him. I put too much pressure on.
You gotta reverse it.
I have to reverse it. He is terrible. He's not as good as Jose Abreu. I was wrong. I truly. I was gonna say on the pitching side, Treasy, you brought up Hendricks, but like that Kyle Hendricks is good. Like, yeah, it's frustrating, but like he's a good pitcher. The guy who is it? Alec Mills, I think, is going to start on Saturday. Yeah. He's not like that good, but he's frustrating because he'll probably still give up like 3 runs over 6 innings, but he'll be like, shit, it should be like 7-0 right now, not 3-0. So there's another guy.
And by the way, there's really not much difference other than just a much better thumber. On Saturday and Sunday, you're going to get Alec Mills, who couldn't break water couldn't break a window pane with a fastball, and then you're going to get Kyle Hendricks, who also could not break a window pane with a fastball. So good luck on that. Abreu is going to eat. By the way, Abreu eats that kind of pitching because he has such excellent hands, keeps his hands back, drives the baseball the other way. Guys that are willing to take what's given do really well against those guys. Guys that are like going to come out of their shoes and try and they're going to spin in the dirt. They're going to spin themselves out trying to like hit the ball out of the ballpark. take what you get with those guys and you have success. And that's what, and I think you saw last game. Him and Eloy both last time against Hendricks both had nice base hits right side. You take it. Those are the guys. But Alec Mills also looks like the guy that used to give wedgies to and shove in his locker back in high school too. So that's a.
We'll get to the good thing about Patrick Wisdom. Go ahead.
No. Go.
I was just gonna say the good thing about Patrick Wisdom, and it's either gonna be great for you guys or for me, especially you, Beefluff, because he's either gonna have a 4 strikeout game or he's gonna homer twice. So I can't wait for that to start.
Yeah, it's an all or nothing proposition. You're absolutely right. One of us is going to be really freaking happy after this stand.
I cannot wait to do the sample size of Jose Abreu and Patrick Wisdom for this weekend.
For the weekend.
Just for the weekend. Hopefully it's just a Friday game. Hopefully it's just a Friday game. I'll go like, look who had a 600 batting average today.
Hopefully we'll be lifting the Crosstown Cup, so we won't care. So in 2016, you guys did something that we are all jealous of because we can never do it, which is beat goddamn Cleveland in a World Series. And so we were definitely jealous of that. I remember right after I threw my TV off my balcony, I messaged my guy Slim Mick and I was like, congrats on the World Series, and I wish we could beat Cleveland in a World Series. That'd be a lot of fun. What's as you were watching the Sox team now, is they're on their way to the playoffs most likely, unless Cleveland pulls off some kind of miracle. What's the thing that you're jealous about with watching this team?
Kevin?
For me?
I was going to say nothing, I guess.
Nothing. You just fucking sit. Watch Saturday games. No. I mean, it's just, I think one of the things about that's so different between baseball and every other sport, it's just like, you're committed on a day-to-day basis for 6 months. I think Beefluff and you guys brought it up before, just watching meaningful baseball. Because I stopped caring about the Cubs since July. It fucking sucks because there's still half the season left. And I'm just like, I'll flip on the game sometimes. I'm like, all right, cool, Frank Schwindel, home run, doesn't matter. Just meaningful baseball. And then just the you guys are still in the early process of where you guys, well, for the most part, I think, love most of the guys still. You're still in that honeymoon, even though some of you guys hate Yohan Moncada for some reason.
No one on this podcast. No one on this podcast.
But I've seen a lot of Twitter slander.
Yeah, no, yes, I agree with you. Yes, but
we did a overhated, overloved players recently, and my overhated was Yohan Moncada.
Yeah,
because I think he's way overhated.
But it's just like that you guys feel that honeymoon, you love you guys have obviously young, great players that it's like, hey, we still have at least 3 more years of this, worst case scenario, 3 more years. Hopefully that lasts longer for you guys. But yeah, it's like these are exciting young stars and you get to watch meaningful baseball and it's going to last for, again, at least 3 more years for you guys.
And the thing is too, okay. And I'll say this, jealousy, it's an honest jealousy. It's not a vindictive jealousy, right? We're not me and Aldo, at least. There are some Cub fans that are just insufferable right now, but it's not a vindictive jealousy. It's the kind of jealousy you finish, when you feel when you sit at a park bench, right? And you just throw down a medium tavern style Rosangela, well done with some green peppers and Italian sausage. You scarf it down. You got your top button unbuttoned and your belly sticking out. And then some guy pulls up at the bench next to you with a Johnny's beef. And you're like, I'm happy right now because I loved what I had. It was delicious. I'm full. My belly's sticking out. But I totally would rock that Italian beef right now too. I could totally eat that. I'm jealous that I don't have that right now, kind of thing. It's more like that. The window it's special. You're in a special part of the window. The window is a special time. It's a 5-6 year period. This could be the golden age of White Sox baseball's first time since the early 1900s. This is a good time to be excited. For Cub fans, it's really doubly tough to go through a rebuild at the same time that the White Sox are surging towards that pinnacle. And so, for White Sox fans that love the troll Cub fans, this is a great time. For the Ricketts, it doesn't even make any sense. Why would you put together a shit team in a moment where you could continue this whole push of keeping the White Sox as that second team in Chicago But now with a dog shit team that's full of a bunch of like South Bend White Sox or South Bend Cubs. Sorry, that was the old team. South Bend Cubs. You're like dealing with gotten into some no names, and the White Sox are killing it. They're in the national game on Field of Dreams. They're the hot topic right now. They're the team that everyone loves to love right now. At the same time, the Cubs are actually the most pitiful team besides the Baltimore Orioles in all of baseball. It's terrible for sales. It's terrible for optics. And I think that, the Cubs have done a fantastic job over the years of almost holding the White Sox down as a national brand. Yep. And now it's out. The cat's out of the bag. The Pandora's box is open. The White Sox are a national brand, and they're going to become one over the next couple of years as the most consistent, if not the most consistent franchise in baseball with what they're doing. And the Cubs are going to be, telling us that they're not retooling and rebuilding while we watch, Schwindel and Patrick Wisdom and Romine and Hermosillo and like some guy that was bagging groceries 2 days ago. What? That's our life. So it's a terrible business decision by the Cubs to be shitty right now. It really is. And it's great for the Sox, but it's jealousy because we had ours, but that shit looks so delicious. That's kind of how I feel right now. It's like, oh, man, I can take 2 bites off that thing, even though if I do, I'll probably puke.
And I think just on the surface, even when like the Cubs are so good, and it's funny how we always think about the Sox are like the stepchild in Chicago or whatever. But for me, the Sox always like the Sox brand has always been cool, and you guys have just a whole bunch of cool players. Like yeah, the Cubs have had some like exciting and they were fun to watch. But like were they ever like cool? Like you look at Tim Anderson, cool guy. Luis Robert, like getting everything in center field, cool dude. Yohan Moncada, like with his music videos, like cool dude.
And the Rompers.
And the Rompers. Have you guys won the Rompers yet?
No.
We don't. We're too very well.
Brewhand Luke has.
Yeah, see, that's true. Hey,
slam and dunk on his Papa shot in his basement.
Just to jump on that, Aldo. Like, when have you ever seen somebody walk out with a cool Cubs hat? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a guy in the car and there's some guy grinding, like in pop culture, or whatever, it's a Sox hat. It's always a Sox hat till you make it. Like my man Eddie Vedder. Like he was a Sox guy until he made it, and then he's like, you know what? Bring me the Cub love. Now I'm a Cubs fan. That guy is the biggest fucking goddamn turncoat. And I don't even know. Like this motherfucker. He's rolling up. Oh, he's a friend of mine. It's Jack McDowell. That's bullshit. You rock the Cubs thing, or you rock the Sox thing because it brought you all the street cred, and people are like, fuck, I'm going to fuck with Pearl Jam because he's a Sox fan. Look at that motherfucker. And then he's like, joke's on you. I'm a Cubs fan, motherfucker. And it's like, God, you asshole. Now I like your music.
Although you had no idea, you unlocked a My Sox Summer therapy session right there.
That was a super trigger right there. That was and I think he needs to go back to that time that he lived on the West Coast in San Diego. Those waves
shit. Yeah.
The sun's going down.
No, but it's true though. You just don't like it. Is cool. The Sox brand has always been cool. I mean, it just doesn't win a lot. It's a cool brand though.
I'll tell you what. I lived in Vegas a little bit when I was a little too, when I was younger, and when the White Sox unveiled the blacks, the traditional the Sox now. Everybody had it. Everybody had it. Between that and Raiders hats, the Los Angeles Raiders cursive hat with the Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was black and white is the best base colors you could possibly have. Like the amount of stuff that you can do with the uniform. I mean, look at the neighborhood uniforms. Those are sick, right? I don't hate I actually prefer the Cubs socks. The actually socks that they wear with their Wrigleyville, whatever we want to call it, Lakeview uniforms, but. I love the socks that they have, but the White Sox, the actual South Side jerseys, those were the black pants. I'm all here. I'm here for it. The blackouts, I love it.
Yep.
I will never understand why the Cubs and Sox didn't try to get together on those jerseys and do South Side, North Side like that. That would have just it would have almost made sense, But you don't want to do anything like that. But so. Speaking of South Side, North Side, and the wonderful Crosstown Cup that we're playing for this weekend, I want to get into the actual weekend and preview the series a little bit. And so I'll kick it first to Beeflo for Friday because I think there's a tailgate that you want to tell us about.
Yes, there is actually.
Do you want to do that, or because I wrote it out too?
No, I'm gonna go with one tailgate, and then I'll let you jump with the other one because there's multiple tailgates on Friday that we actually are going to try to spread ourselves thin to My Sox Summer. So first off, the pitching matchup on Friday. It's a 7:10 start at the Sox Park, and the White Sox have Dallas Keuchel going against something called Keegan Thompson. I don't know what that is,
He's from SNL.
but it's
right?
it's probably
He was actually on Good Burger for a
He's
while.
a good burger too, right? Yeah. Kel's gonna throw out the first pitch.
There's a really good Charles Barkley impression. Fantastic.
It's probably the Cubs' best chance to steal one of these games on Friday night. For the 108ers, well, we got a couple things going on. We got our friend Sox Chick has a tailgate going on where I believe my Sox Summer and I are going to finally learn the steps to doing the Ricky Renteria.
Yes,
that's a song that he put out a couple years ago. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's like a line dance sort of thing. We've never really learned how to do. She came to the tailgate in Milwaukee, and we asked her to teach us, but then the tailgate got the best of us. We didn't end up
I will accept no slander about my Little League coach, Rick. Little known story. He was my 12-year-old majors coach while he was rehabbing with the Seattle Mariners back when I was 12 years old.
I was unaware. This is a pro Ricky Renteria podcast.
We love Ricky.
We were the defenders of
We
Ricky.
defended Ricky the whole time he was here. F all the rest of you, Peg.
His son Joey was my boy. His son Joey was my boy. He was a year younger than me. He was our shortstop. His son Joey was a good dude. So, and Rick was on it. We called him Rich, though. It was kind of funny. Like, everyone's like, Ricky Renteria. I'm like, it's always been Rich. When he played for the Marlins, actually, my dad and him were friends or whatever, too. And so he got us tickets when he played for the Marlins. So I got to meet, like, Charlie Huff, who was like 800 years old with old balls.
Yes.
Cool. Arrested. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. But, yeah, so I will accept no Ricky slander.
We will give none.
Charlie Huff, when he played for the Sox, was like 87, right? Like, he was as old as like Charlie Watts, right?
Okay,
like he was just out there
drumming along,
knuckleballing and motherfuckers. Yep.
Pleasure to watch because he actually looked the part as his age. He looked the age too.
Yeah, he would have been a hell of a 108 guy. Like the 108 would have embraced that motherfucker like nobody's business. Like he would be out on your deck smoking Swisher Sweets and drinking Goose Island Shandy. Pat. Like, that's just what it would be.
He didn't even have to have that, but he didn't have to be sober to pitch and do what he did, throwing 46 mile an hour. That was great. Like the Harley Chuffer is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, my Sox Summer, you have another tailgate that you want to talk about.
Well, no, I was going to do some details on the Sox Chick tailgate.
Go for it, baby.
They got free food. They're going to have music, and they're also going to have free chair massages. So I don't know if I'm going to participate in that because it's going to be hot as fuck out there. So like I don't think I need to be having anybody rubbing up on me just when I am like covered in like probably about an inch of sweat, lather as we call it.
Freeze.
She's also giving away a ton of buckles, some belt buckles I saw on her Twitter page. So go over there and check it out. And then you said it already to do the Ricky Renteria. Now, the other tailgate that might be going down or might not be going down. I can't really talk about it. So just come to Lot B and maybe just look in like, I don't know, like the southeast corner of Lot B and just see what's happening over there. There might be something happening over there. Maybe come through. And you know what? Maybe when you come through, I'll give you one of these little Friday koozies, maybe to put something in that maybe somebody else will give you something maybe for free. I don't know. I'm just saying. Just go check out that corner of the tailgate where the all the buses park over there, you know, by Lot B. Just go check that shit out. Maybe there's something over there fun to see. I don't know. I can't.
Could be.
If for certain something's going to happen, but maybe you want to go over there. Maybe just check it out. Maybe get a free little Friday koozie. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
Just a question. I have a question. Will Buzz be there in a garbage bag sliding on mud?
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
We don't know.
It doesn't have to rain. It doesn't have to rain. You guys can make the mud. I mean, there's many ways to make the
With
mud.
our sweat.
On the way in, before it goes in, after it comes out, whatever. I'm sure Buzz he'll slide it on through, but glorious.
Apparently, the other tailgate that they did, they dressed him up like a pinata, and everybody hit him with wiffle ball bats, and they popped out of him, and he was on the ground. So I don't know what he's going to do to up that because, I mean, once you take it to getting beat with wiffle ball bats, I think you kind of like crescendo. That's your crescendo.
Yeah,
so you're going down, or you're going to have to hit some falsetto shit. Like we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So at that second tailgate, are there going to be Beanie Babies for sale?
Well, possibly.
Possibly for free.
What would you like, Aldo? Are you
I
going to be in attendance?
I got to see the product. I don't know.
I mean, I'll send you
show
some
and tell,
DMs.
man. God damn it.
Although I think you nailed it on the head earlier with the fetish, and you know that these things are just being used for cleanup. So I don't think you want one of these.
Yeah, these are the ones that actually, if you hold them at the right angle, they actually spill out the beans that are inside of them.
Yes.
Fetish, they're a little sticky. I just say.
Now, one game note
My
about
best
Friday.
selection is different, like that one.
There's a major rumor out there right now about Friday that Yasmani
that?
Grandal will be back in the lineup, and I feel like that's. You remember the scene in Billy Madison where he tried to go in and during recess, and Miss Lippy told him he's got to go back out, and they threw the dodgeball and he caught it, and he's like, "You're all in big trouble."
Oh.
That's the rest of the American League. Now that we're getting Yasmani Grandal back, they're all in big fucking trouble because now the lineup is finally going to be healthy and back together. So I hope Yaz is back. That's the rumor. That's what we're hearing out there. So really excited for Friday. So make sure if there aren't any tickets available, get your ass out there for Friday's game.
What's your over/under for Grandal walks this weekend?
Well, that's a good question because he may sit
6.
in the middle game. So he might only play 2 games. So if he plays 2 games, I'll give him
10.
3. I'll give him 3 walks. I'll give him 3 walks.
Why do we like Yasmani Grandal?
He gets on base.
Oh.
So just to give you guys a little lowdown, if you haven't been paying attention to the Sox that closely, so Dallas Keuchel is pitching on Friday. He's still getting tons of ground balls. I think it's something around the 55% mark, but his home run and walk rates are both up, and his K rate is down. So to quickly sum that up, he's bad. So I think it's a good opportunity for the Cubs to hit some home runs against him. I think this is probably their best chance at a win this weekend. I think this is they could come out of the series, kind of smoking hot in the first game because Keuchel is susceptible to the home run now, much more than he has been in the past. His accuracy is lower than it's been. I think that the hitters should be able to do pretty well against him. Give me a little bit of info on this Keegan Thompson. I see he's mostly like a 4-seam cutter guy. Is that right?
Yeah, no, he's still in that mode of he's just not efficient at all. So I know what you're saying about this is the best chance because like obviously your Cubs are facing the weakest starting pitcher for the White Sox. Keegan Thompson might be effective, but he might also be out of there by the 4th inning because he'll be like at 90 pitches. And I mean, he hasn't been starting for long. They like barely stretched him out last month at AAA. So like he might not give up a lot of runs, but then he'll be out in the 4th inning, and then the Cubs have to bring in their AAA bullpen, and then you guys are just going to be eaten from like the middle innings all the way to the end. But I mean, he's fine. I don't think he's been that big of a strikeout guy in his few starts that he's had. He's mainly worked out of the bullpen like a multi-inning reliever before he got sent down to get stretched out. I mean, he's fine. It's nothing spectacular. He throws like mid-90s. So we're not talking about like a Kyle Hendricks guy. We're not talking about like a guy who relies on the sinker changeup. But I mean, it's just like he's not going to be efficient with his pitches.
And he was dirty as a reliever. Once they stretched him out, you can look. I mean, he was sitting at like a 1.7, 1.64, 1.59 ERA before they started stretching him out. Once they started stretching him out, that's gone up considerably. Like he hasn't gotten past the 4th inning as a starter yet. I mean, only one start, I guess, technically.
Yeah. He's only had that one start.
Two starts. He started one, looks like back in May. Back like in May 4th.
Yeah.
Star Wars Day Tree.
Oh, nice.
Oh, May the 4th. He was
with you.
Sorry, I did not get a chance to watch Bad Batch yet this week, but I'm sure you did. Anyway,
it's the finale, so we're you got to get caught up and get to the end there. So is someone like Thompson? Are you looking at that guy like, yeah, he's starting this season, but this is a guy that is going to be a good reliever for us?
I think eventually that's going to be his role because out of like, so the other guys that they've been trying to stretch out, or the other guy that they stretched out recently has been Justin Steele. And it seems they have the better stuff. And like out of the two, I think Justin Steele has a better chance of, long-term being a starter, like back into the rotation. But Keegan Thompson is just like nothing looks spectacular with him. So it's just like
his eyebrows are spectacular. They're almost like Vulcan eyebrows. Like you almost look at him and he's gonna be like, live long, and he's like gonna grab someone's neck. His eyebrows literally go choo, and they're thin. So like,
you would assume Justin Steele has better eyebrows, like Blue Steel. Like
no, he has better nether hair.
Yeah.
He has better steel beams, is what
he found a way to get sideburns on his balls. I'm not sure how that happened, but he likes the 70s style. That's what he does.
So real quick, guys, we'll go around the horn on this one. There's a $50,000 guarantee on the Split the Pot for Friday. What do we think that number ends up at for the end of the night? My Sock Summer, you're up first. How many Beanie Babies is this?
Well, it's 60 cents. That's like 100,000 Beanie Babies. I think I could talk the ladies in over there. Maybe get like a lot for that much. So they might give me the whole store.
Beanie Baby exchange rate, really, is what it is. Beanie Baby exchange rate.
No, it's starting at 50K. It's starting at 50K. Available online, and they're also walking through the park. I say the first night, I'm going to go 87.5. 87.5 for Friday.
Beef.
I mean, it's a cliche to pick this number, but I'm going to say 108,000.
Oh, beautiful. K-Fids.
Ooh.
I'm going to say, in honor of the guy that swings and misses a ton, we're going to say 90,000 for number 9. Formerly of the Cubs, but that's actually my number, so he can't have it. Fuck him.
Aldo.
Let's see, 50K online, full house Friday night. Let's go 97.5.
Nice.
We're gonna pull up Price is Right now. I'm gonna bid $1 over.
$1.
83. 83 for Friday night.
All right.
All right. So Saturday.
Did you write those down?
No. Just listen back. Listen back tomorrow. Write them down. My Sock Summer. It's fine.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
He always listens back.
So,
Always listen.
so Saturday is.
Do you guys do that, by the way? I don't know about Aldo. You guys, I actually listened to the podcast that we recorded the night before on the way to school, just so I could feel terrible about myself and cringe on my way to school. So I'm actually humble around the students. I have a 30-minute drive to work every day for school, and I listen to the first half hour, second half hours on the way home. Do you guys do that or no? Are you like one and done?
So I will typically skim through it so that I could get the times of each kind of each spot that things like each change. Because I like to get the index into the YouTubes, but I haven't been doing that recently. It's a little bit of I have a little bit of a drinking problem, and so it interferes with that morning.
I do not listen back to the podcast. I used to, and I found it beneficial to get me to where I am now. But I should potentially start doing it again. But like I treat this, and I've told people this in private chats, I treat it as performance art, and once it's out of me, it's out of me. I don't want to watch it again. It's done.
Is this why you have not gone back and listened to the beer draft episode where you passed out on camera? Or
see, that was the one that was
back. I'm like,
that was bad. Like the whiskey got me. And I was very bad. When I woke up the next day and I have a Costco-sized bottle of the generic Crown Royal and like
the vodka
missing, I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked up. It was ridiculous.
Aldo's gotten so many middle of the night texts for me or like messages. Aldo, can you cut that one part out? Because I just remember I
still remember the 20. It was like spring training 2020, like the first or second week, and we tried to do a preview of the season. It was like a 3-hour show, and Kevin was blacked out by hour 2.
Oh, see,
like the next day, I'm like, I said that. Oh, shit.
I've only blacked out one time, and that was it. And it was not good. And then I asked these guys, I've never listened to it, and I was like, dude, was it really that bad? And they're like, no, you were.
It's always that.
And
bad.
I'm like, it probably was that bad.
If you have to ask, it
was worse in the moment, to be honest, because we had all these guests on and shit, and like Treasy and I were like messaging each other, like, should we cut his mic off? Like, should we finish? But then when you listen back to it, it's like, it wasn't that bad. There was no big deal. It was the booze like getting us too with the anxiety, like, oh shit, what's he doing over here? You know.
I didn't say anything bad. I'm not a bad person. So like, it's not gonna like bad.
That's debatable.
Like
That's debatable.
It's not like behind the curtain. Like I have all these things going on that like I shouldn't talk about. You know, like I buy Beanie Babies for Christ's sake.
Like
so I'm not a horrible person.
I wasn't worried about anything like that. I was more worried like that you'd be like, oh, I'm so fucking hot or something, and like start taking your clothes off.
Oh yeah, you know, because we don't do a show like popping. You know what I mean? My God,
dude, I don't know.
That was the awkward part. But how many of you guys have woken up with unopened Postmates on your doorstep after your podcasts?
No.
I've not done that.
White Castle hanging on the fence, even when we did it back in Chicago when I was there for the visit. I woke up at 5 a.m. and the White Castle was still hanging on the fence of our Airbnb. And I'm like, God dang it. I'm going to eat them. Of course I did. Disgusting shit.
I'm far too cheap to get Postmates, so that would not happen for me. I don't have enough money. I spend it all on Beanie Babies. So.
You leave a Beanie Baby on the doorstep for the Postmates delivery guy.
He's like, "What's your favorite animal?" He's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Tell me." And he's like, "Frog." I go, "Here you go, legs." There you go.
Legs.
Excellent.
Legs.
What's Saturday?
Saturday, Alec Mills against Lance Lynn. And I think you guys are familiar with Lance Lynn. He's just an absolute beast. And he'll probably play this game drunk, and so that only increases his beastliness. So I think this is a game where I feel like the Sox have a pretty good advantage pitching wise.
Yeah, the Sox are going to shove it right up their ass in this game. This is the shove it. Like the last game we previewed, that's like they got a chance. They're going to get it shoved up their ass.
Yeah, we're going to lose Friday.
We're losing Friday. Or 8-1 or something like that.
And so Alec Mills is, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, is like the junior Hendricks. Like they want him to become Kyle Hendricks, but he's
the pro wings Kyle Hendricks.
He's the pro the Hydrox cookie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really a perfect way to describe him. It's just the pro wings Hendricks.
I think the most positive thing I can say about Alec Mills, and again, it's like nothing. He's been like okay. He's like he was a fifth starter, long relief guy for like before he even got a shot with the Cubs. He's like kind of better than Zach Davies. That's all I got. He's kind of better than Zach Davies.
Better than Zach Davies is a strong endorsement. Right?
Also a lesser than pro. What is it like below pro wings? Right. I mean that's Zach Davies.
That's Zach Davies.
Whatever you can buy at Zare. I don't know.
Venture.
What's like a medium price Beanie Baby?
That's
Zach Davies.
How much is Spike worth?
That's Alec Mills.
Zach Davies is a pebble puppy. That's actually what Zach Davies is. It's like the Beanie Baby knockoff. He's a puppy pebble.
I'm just hoping that Inchworm, this motherfucker, he's worth something. That's all. Inch. This guy's Inch. Yeah.
Maybe you can sell it in different stores. You get more money for it.
Maybe. I don't think so. But maybe. I'm going to find some fucking sucker like me. I'm going to look around for that.
Put it up on like Adam and Eve.
My Sox summer, just build a time machine and go back to 1997. You're fine. You'll be all set.
I should build a time machine to 2 years ago when I bought all the other ones and just not buy them. How about that? Might be better. I can make a couple different decisions. You know?
I mean, you could also start an OnlyFans where you play with Beanie Babies.
That's true.
Shirtless though.
True.
Oh yeah.
All the different voices too. You've got to have like the Muppet Babies, except on your chest. So it's a Muppet Babies. It's all imagination, right? I mean, that's what Muppet Babies taught us.
They're still going to allow hardcore pornography on OnlyFans, so we're good. Yeah,
right. You're safe. So the Beanie Babies are not safe, though. your pants only will just get a lot worse.
I'm sure I could still sell them to a shitload of people over in Japan after they've used. So don't worry.
They're probably going to be worth more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
probably were?
Is this a Siamese Beanie Baby? No, they're just stuck together. Sorry about that.
Isn't that where like Hideki Matsui is buying like used panties like in Japan?
Hideki Matsui has the largest porn collection in the world. It's
might
wild.
be into this.
Yeah,
it's absolutely wild.
He might buy from you.
He'd at least subscribe to the OnlyFans account
for sure.
So
check it out.
Beef, you're going to be the only guest here. Split the pot on Saturday. Where are we at?
All right, so there's no minimum. So it's but it's still going to be a full house, and it's going to be the drunkest crowd of the weekend because you've had no work during the day. People can tailgate all day. I'm going to go 130,000 with no minimum.
Whoa!
I think it'll be
$130K.
the biggest one. I think the biggest one of the weekend. Yep.
Wow.
You're going to sell online and all that stuff. It'd be 130.
How much
think
of that would be your purchases? Because I know you have a receipt that looks like my bar tab at the bowling.
No, that's I will have one of those each night for sure. At each game, I'll have a gigantic
Each one.
list. And it'll be all filled with losers because we never fucking win anything.
Well,
my
see, now
side
you're gonna win.
We're not buying.
Hand have won, but
Yes.
the Gringos have won. All right, the Mexicanos have not won. We have not fucking won that.
Do you think there's a timing involved with purchasing like your numbers? Like when you buy, like should you buy early, late, middle? What is the is there a strategy?
It's a fucking
regardless.
scam, dude. It's a scam because here's the scam.
That's when the high
It's
school
like-
you buy at the end. It's right at the
When
top.
we bought it, when me and Aloha Mr. Ham bought the tickets, and I literally I asked him to be in just because I was like, I don't want to lose $40. I go, do you want to go halves on this? And he's like, hell yeah, let's go halves. So we went over. We were in the suites. We had met AJ Przinski. He autographed some shit from us, and then I think Alyssa's mom was our beer tender, and I crushed like 18 fucking carne asada tacos and drank a shitload of Bud Light in that suite. But that's besides the point.
Good snack.
We bought the fucking tickets in the suite, and when we win the goddamn split, originally Mr. Hand goes, fuck, we didn't win. So he went to crumple it up, and then he goes, wait a minute. And then he uncrumples it and looks at it, and he goes, we fucking won. So we went down and we won. And that was nice. But like who the fuck sitting in a goddamn suite needs to win the goddamn split? That doesn't make no sense. Like, we're sitting in 108. We've bought from Matt Ramsey almost every fucking game. That motherfucker sells us losers left and right. I'm not buying from Matt Ramsey this weekend. And if I do, I'm going to split it up. I'm going to go to two different places because somebody's got to win this weekend.
I'm trying to figure out what originally is.
Don't try to learn his language.
I'm going to fucking punch you in the face.
Hey, Fitz, you know how you said you listened back to your show? Don't listen back to this one.
Listen, you should be used to this shit.
It's Friday. My class is going to listen to the 108 tomorrow. They're going to be like, Mr. Fiddler, I thought we were going to watch the Spider-Man trailer. Shut the fuck up. We're going to watch the 108. We're gonna watch the YouTube version of it too. So what is this in my hand? Sorry about this, kids.
What?
It's Diet Coke. It's Dr. Pepper. We're talking about, whatever. No, I mean, of course.
What is
butchering names is what happens at the tail end of a good podcast. Let's be honest.
Why does the fat one continually buy Beanie Babies? Even though why does
one of the kids will be like, my mom just bought from that guy. I just didn't. She said she bought some guy with a do-rag on. I wasn't sure what happened.
Yes.
She was watching a show with him and those Beanie Babies. So Sunday. Let's get to Sunday. And Sunday soak this weekend. Beef, my sock summer. How's this gonna go, man? Two-man soak.
Two-man soak, yeah.
Two-man soak. I'll be here manning the controls.
Nice.
You're gonna be at Control Central. I mean, it's possible we have
How's
a
this
third
gonna
person
work?
to the soak. It's possible.
It'll still work. I'll be broadcasting from here.
Yep.
And you guys will we'll have the link. You'll be the remote.
Yep.
Are you gonna be like talking too or no?
No, I won't be able to. You won't be able to hear me because you'll be in a.
I have to be right
hot
next
tub
to your
really
brother
far
this
from
time.
the phone.
No, you sit in the back. I'll sit in front.
Possibly
you sit in
nude.
the back, man.
I want at least one Beanie Baby in the soak, though.
Oh, it should be in the background now. It has to be in the background. By the way, I have a question. By the way, guys, with the Sunday soaks. By the way, I have actually gotten to see, but I've actually been.
You've been there.
I've been there. I've seen this beautiful,
Seen the hot tub,
glorious shrine to debauchery. And how long until like that glorious pool of Adonis DNA like sprouts a new species of like humanoids that have like glorious facial hair, delicious man bun, sexual bodies, penchant for craft beer, an AOL account, probably obviously, a Princess Leia fetish, and like a face for radio. Like, when is this going to happen? I'm ready for the next evolution of man, and I feel like it's coming out of that hot tub because there's some DNA in them.
I mean, we turn over the water every couple months, or actually during the season, we turn over the water probably 3 times, and then off season, it's every couple months.
Wait.
Do you bottle up a little bit?
Redo it over.
Do you bottle a little bit for the Smithsonian?
I mean,
like
we have gotten offers to buy. I don't know what people wanted to do with the water, but to buy some of our water from the hot tub, we haven't done that yet. But
in a capsule.
I'm telling you, my stock summer, there's a market for your used Beanie Babies.
People
got to use them the right way.
No, there's also
People buy
also,
Beanie
if it
Babies
gets-
for White Sox summer, and then they're going to also buy like capsules, necklaces that have like the hot tub water from the Sunday soak.
if it gets too now listen, if it gets too frothy in there though, Mrs. Love comes over with a bottle of some substance. I'm not sure if it will kill me or whatever, but she squirts it all in the tub and then it deflates the
It
foam.
subsides. Yeah.
Anything that's like probably
Bleach.
gets like killed right then. Like it's just done.
Absolutely.
So we will still be doing the soak. I'm not sure if it's just going to be the two of us or if we're going to call in the reliever. And
We got relievers.
We got the third man we could add to this. We'll see if we'll talk to him maybe in the next day or two. But we're still going to do the Sunday soak on Sunday. And the pitching matchup on Sunday is the aforementioned Kyle Hendricks, who the fella said we should hate, against the newly good against tough teams.
Good
Dylan
teams, yeah.
Cease. Dylan Cease had a great start against the Blue Jays.
Whoop 'em.
And he always takes it personally when he pitches against the Cubs. So again, this one's gonna
hurt.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough for
Well,
you.
for the bottom part of this viewfinder, it's gonna hurt. The screen, the Cub fans below, this is gonna hurt because it already hurts with Eloy's probably gonna hit 2 homers too. Cease is gonna carve the Cubs, and Eloy is gonna homer twice, drive in 4, maybe 5. He might even do a dance at second base. It's gonna make basically all the Chicago women scream they love that shimmy.
Shimmy.
But
although Fids, am I off base? I think the White Sox won the Quintana trade with just Cease, and I think Eloy is the frosting on the cake.
I mean, if you want to like view it that way, I guess.
By the way,
I have nothing to say. I was completely wrong on I thought Quintana was going to continue to be good. He wasn't. I've been beaten to a pulp. I've got.
I'm sorry. I love Quintana. He was great for the Sox. I loved him though.
Zoe does have a good question in the chat, but yeah, no, the Eloy. By the way, the last time I came like Cubs unhinged, by the way, was the Eloy Cease trade for Quintana. If you look at that was one of my mega tweet days on Twitter where I went off. Actually, the account that I was tweeting with actually has deleted itself. So it's even worse. It was horrible day.
So
Eloy
are you being forced to chug a beer this weekend? What is this week?
Well, every time the White Sox, whoever wins the game, it's a post game. So I've already chugged 3 beers this year. I used the champagne of beers, Miller High Life.
What'd you have? Okay, High Life. Okay.
It's easy to chug. There's less bubbles, but I got to keep it warm. I'm going to go Guinness this weekend, though. I felt
a
little Irish.
Wow.
No. I think you need to chug. I feel like you should probably chug Old Style. Can you get Old Style
in Vegas? We can't get Malort. Like it's really like bullshit. I have to send it to me if I want it, and it's too late.
Well, that's ridiculous.
It's a pretty easy chug, K-Fids. If you're looking for an easy chug, it's. I mean, there's a good amount of alcohol in it, so it's a little bit worse than doing like a High Life. But Newcastle is very chuggable.
Was that something that you have vomited from on a chug?
Do they?
Oh no! I've chugged a lot lot. That's a.
Do they even make Newcastle
back in the day? I don't know. I haven't had one in like 10 years, but I remember it's like very low carb. That's the thing. It's like not carbohydrates, carbonation.
Right.
Like it's almost a flat beer, right? Like so, like you can just drink it.
They still make Newcastle
too. But I mean, we have Busch here too. Busch is an easy chug, and it really is. It's like water, so it's fine. But I don't know. I think a Guinness is going to go now. I think maybe I'll do an Irish car bomb. Maybe that's what we'll do.
Ooh, wow.
That's
good.
The Red Dog suggestion what do we from the comments is pretty good.
We can't call it that now. We should call it an Irish Blimey. I think we're going to call it an Irish Blimey now. But
yeah.
Oh, they don't call it Irish car bomb?
Yeah, you can't.
We don't want to.
Yeah,
I have a friend who went to Ireland, and her husband ordered an Irish car bomb.
Bad call.
In a pub in Ireland.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
They did not like it. They did not like that order.
Yeah. That's so good.
So yeah,
that I understand. But over here,
well, fellas, it has been an absolute pleasure having you guys on. It's a lot of fun. It's not often we get to talk with you guys because it's not often we talk about the Cubs. So it was really cool to have you guys on. And
I get invited to their show. You guys don't. So.
Flames go for that, guys. He's our booker.
Yeah. Actually, we actually invited My Sock Summer. He said no. He had a concert. I don't know. He was singing cover band.
Too busy.
I was, and for a minute there, I was like, did I say no? I don't think. Maybe I did. Maybe I said no. I don't remember doing that.
Actually, I want to have Treasy on the Tainted Glove because I actually want to do a whole Star Wars, like a whole Star Wars. Like
it's good for that.
Oh my goodness!
And so we could do a Sopranos episode. I want to do all this. I mean, the Tainted Glove is our ability to go beyond baseball, which is kind of the fun part because I'm pretty much ADHD is great, so I'll talk about all that. And then you get Pete into it, of course, Mr. Aloha.
He knows about everything. He's
wiser beyond our years.
Yes, he very much is. That's absolutely true.
Definitely, definitely invited My Sock Summer on the Pinwheels, and he said no. He said,
"Oh fuck,
big time this."
Wow, I can't believe
fellas,
it.
I think
hey, when you guys just
it's a good team versus a not so good team this year. But I think as time goes on, I think we should make this a recurring thing every year as we play each other in these series. And hopefully in a few years it's two teams that are both going for division and we'll talk a lot more shit to each other as we get into it.
Yep.
That red line series. That's a perfect world right there.
That's the dream right there, baby.
With some bets going, it'll get wild. So I look forward to it, and I appreciate you guys coming on when it's when it's not so good. I know that's not the best time to come talk about your team, but we'd really appreciate it, and we'd love drinking with you guys. So hopefully, we'll have some brews in person in the near future. But I appreciate it. For those of you watching or listening, we're not quite done yet. We're gonna have some more bullshit at the end, but we're gonna say goodbye to our two friends here, K-Fids. Aldo, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys,
boys.
and
Cheers.
White Sox Twitter too. White Sox Twitter, you're a gem.
Yes.
Some of you all right.
Attaboy, Aldo. I love it. Stir that pot, baby.
All right, My Sock Summer. Time to pay some bills.
Free shipping, free koozies, free stickers till Sunday. If you order a 108 shirt with the free shipping, you get a shirt, a koozie, and a sticker, and possibly a Daniel Polka card sent to you for under $12. Fucking beat that. Any one of you motherfuckers, find a shirt for $12 shipped to your house with a koozie, a sticker, and a Polka card. Also, this weekend, if you catch me at any of the tailgates that I mentioned, okay, the Sox Chick one on Friday, another one maybe on Friday that might be happening, might not be happening. Maybe that same one might be happening on Saturday too. Come through. I'm going to have giving away little Friday koozies to whoever asks me. Now, it might be a little bit too hot for me to wear the cargo shorts, so maybe I only have 5 extras per day. So find me, make fun of how sweaty I am, and get a free koozie. All right. Go to our website, FromThe108.com. Click on the banner ad on the right-hand side. Go right to the merch shop. Order up some shit. A bunch of you guys did it this last weekend. Last week. I have sent everything. You guys should be getting it. You'll see the post up there. Come check it out. We got a lot of stuff left to get rid of. All right.
All right.
Beautiful, baby. Can I give a quick update before we move on of our poll, our show poll that we put out there?
You're smoking it.
Right now, no, it's not smoking. Right now, my song is winning by a little bit over Painted Black, but it's hilarious because My Sock Summer called it Symphony for the Devil instead of Symphony for the Devil.
God.
So he's getting bodied.
I did do that. And
it's funny because the guy who taught Treasy and I how to play guitar, he would mistakenly call it Symphony for the Devil sometimes. And so it made me laugh when I'm reading it and someone replied Sympathy. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe he messed that up in exactly the right way.
I can 100% understand why I messed it up because I'm an idiot. So I know why it happened.
No harm, baby. No harm. It's fun.
I should have known because when I Googled it to make sure I spelled it correctly, Symphony of Destruction came up, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just use that. And then I'm not thinking, no, dumb fuck. It's Sympathy, not Symphony. God damn it. All right, whatever.
I'm so happy about this.
I'm not even high. I wish I was high. Now I'm not even high. Whatever. All right, let's move on.
All right, so we're gonna try something new, and so this is a beef loaf product, and those rarely fail. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna check it out.
True.
What are you talking about? You're like 25 for 25 on bits.
No, I'm not.
Yep.
I fail all the time, but I have had some good successes. I've had some good ones that have run up.
So Beef, run this down for us. Explain what this is, and we're gonna go with. We're gonna go through this.
So the segment is called "I Stand For," and what it is something that you really support that maybe might not be that popular in the general public, and you build a little bit of a case, and then the 108ers are going to discuss it. We're gonna go over what you determined was the reason why you stand behind this thing, and see if you're full of shit, or if they don't like it, or if they do like it, they agree with you, and think yes, this is a good cause to be behind.
So Beef, why don't you start it off so we get an idea of what we're looking at, what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely, I would love to. So I stand for TV color analyst Gordon Beckham. I'll admit I was skeptical to begin with, old Gordo, but the more I watch and more I think he's just so much fun. I think he's handy with pop culture references and movie TV references. He's recently played the game, so he has experience against some of the players that are going on in the game and give that insight. He's also got this self-deprecating humor that I really enjoy, and I think all of you really enjoy. He's also a bit of a light core, like the old Beef Loaf. He's always fishing for comments from Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And he and Jason seem to work well. I hate to phrase it this way, but he's just fun. Gordon Beckham on the broadcast is fun. Don't people like fun anymore? I'm at the point where most broadcasts stink to me. I'm content to turn the sound off and put music or a podcast on most broadcasts. Now, I'm not talking about Jason and Steve. They're terrific. We're lucky to have a group like that, who we helped vote into the number one spot in an MLB contest that Danny Vetti from CBS Twitter put out for a poll competition. But other than them, most of their broadcasts are dry toast. I'm not saying we need to get back to having Hawk Harrelson in the booth. I mean, we're never going to have a personality like that. But Gordo brings the fun to me. He's entertained the hell out of me when he's been in the booth. I'd seriously consider keeping him as the permanent fill-in and then starting to groom him for when Stoney is ready to retire. I'm enjoying him that much. I think the 2026 rebuild season, highlighted by Gordon Beckham as the analyst, is going to be a ton of fun.
So I'm not going to hate on this one. I was actually, this was going to be mine because I felt like it was something that we could really kind of get into. But one of the things so I don't like him in the studio. I'm not a fan of him in the studio. But what I do like, and why I think that I enjoy him, is that he's a mediocre player. And I think we need a little bit more of that in the booth, because I feel like when you have a really good player in the booth, it's like listening to Bobby Boucher talk about his defense, how he plays defense. Like you're just like, yeah, I don't. It's not that easy. It can't be that easy, right? And you need a guy who's like, that pitch that guy threw, that's really fucking hard to hit. I can never hit that. I've spent my whole career watching pitches like that go by me, and someone who's willing to be honest about that and be like, just be out there of like, you know what, like, I made my living doing this, and I did this very poorly because that's so difficult. Like, really honing in on the difficulty of this game.
Yep.
Because I think with the way that people talk about it, when you got a guy like A-Rod or something talking about the game, it just all sounds like, oh, well, you just fucking hit that pitch. Why would you ever not hit that pitch?
Right.
And, when you get a guy like Beckham in there, you get a little more perspective of like how difficult these things are to do. And like, he's a guy who is talking about a pitch coming in and going like, I know exactly what this guy's throwing, and him sitting there knowing what was coming, couldn't hit it. Right. Because I hear way too many motherfuckers go, oh, I could hit 200 in the major leagues. No, you couldn't. You could hit zero. You would hit zero in the major leagues.
Exactly.
You would be lucky to get on base. Like, someone would hit you for you to get on base. So I think that, like the way people, who were very good at the game make it sound easier than it is.
Yep.
Is not good for the audience. I think someone like Gordon Beckham, and look, Gordon Beckham's not perfect. Like I'm not saying like he's the best announcer. Like he's very new to this. He's definitely
raw. I would
he's
say
definitely
he's raw
got
doing this.
so there's definitely problems with his game calling, but like I like the perspective of a guy who's not that good. And I've always liked that. I've always liked that about DJ too. Like DJ will tell DJ doesn't come out there talking like he knows everything about baseball. He talks like a guy who had to go play in Japan, and like I appreciate that. I appreciate a guy who did this at a high level, but wasn't great at it and had to really think about everything that was going on and really understand every part of the game just to scrape by. Right. Like, I think that's the kind of guy I like to hear from. So look, Stoney is fucking incredible. And like, listen, but not every guy that was good is going to be like Stoney. You get way more A-Rods than you get Stoney.
Right.
And so if we're looking at like who's next to be the color commentator, like a guy like Gordon Beckham, I don't hate it. Like I would be fine with him being on there.
I just once you said that like I felt like the vomit come up in the back of I don't want to have him there on a regular basis. And here's I must have missed a lot of the shit that you guys are like saying it was great. What I heard a lot of, and I put this out there is in our group chat anyway. I didn't put it on the internet. When we were talking about he was talking about his time in Detroit, how he sat the team down and tried to give them a pep talk and tell them like, hey, we're not going to be the worst team this year. Come on, guys, let's do better.
No. He said we're not going to be the worst team ever.
The worst team ever. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Right. But I also can only imagine a clubhouse with Miguel Cabrera in it, and you have Gordon Beckham coming up, like journeyman Gordon Beckham coming up and trying to tell you that like we're not gonna suck, guys, and you're like, you fucking suck, Gordon. All right, like you're what was his career WAR? 5.5 or some shit, and like I think his batting average. I want to say it's 220, but I don't think it is. I think it's higher. It's like 240.
Not much. No, I don't think it's that
but
high.
It's just like
237.
But it's just like I don't know. What I heard from him is like anytime Benetti would say something, Gordon had a fucking goddamn story about it. And I was like, this is like talking to some hot chick at a bar. Like, you're just going to continually talk about yourself and just bring up things about you, nuances about yourself, and just like talk continually about yourself. And that's what he did. And I don't think he's awful. I don't think it's easy. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think I could go into a booth and be like, do color. There's no way I could do color. But I also think that like the good points, and I know you guys said, yes, Steve is awesome. Steve has almost the perfectness because he had some success in baseball, but he also was very awful in baseball too. So like he has both of those things, so he can talk out both sides of the mouth, but he's also just not a jag. Like I feel like Gordon's like a jag, and maybe when it comes later, like
I do not at all.
I feel like he was a jag.
I felt he was a jag. I felt he's a little jag.
No, he's a little
jaggy.
There's so much self-deprecating humor. It's like
I don't think it was that heavy, dude.
He knows he was no good. Like he is clearly like, yeah, I was a guy who couldn't do that. Like like I barely survived on it. He only has a little, like he has a little bit of crusty, like upset baseball guy that the stats took over, but only on defense because he sucked hitting, and he's like, yeah, that would have helped me, but like on defense, I knew I know how to line up and like all this shit, which is almost kind of funny. It's like, who gives a fuck? You think you know how to line up at second base? Like, to me, there's like a fun, and he also is very good with pop culture references, movie references. Like he was down on all shit that like people our age know about, like movies that we know about. Him and Jason were flipping back references together.
Like what? Like what did he flip? I don't remember this. I didn't watch every minute of every game that he commentated on.
Yeah.
So I potentially missed a lot of this, but he didn't know what the 108 was. So
yeah.
Oh, so that's why you're holding grudge? He might learn.
Yeah, a little
he
bit.
Learn. He can learn what the 108 is. You know,
When they laid down the when Chuck laid it out for him, like he still never responded to us because he's too highfalutin. Like that's what I think. I think a guy that likes to get down into the depths and like hanging out with Joe Schmoes and shit would have like, yo, I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna get some drinks with you and see if you guys fight people because that's what he said we do. So I mean, no, I'm not taking it as a personal front, but I'm just saying, like,
you got hurt.
You don't want to come hang out with us? Fuck you. You know what I mean?
He's physically emotional right now.
You know what happened? Gordon Beckham didn't go to his art show.
Yeah.
That's right. And he would sue if he could.
He's going to sue him. Does Gordon Beckham have pictures of your dick? Is that
my baby dick?
Yeah. All right. My Sock Summer, what do you stand for?
So I mean I know you both are doing baseball related shit. So and I didn't do baseball related shit.
Well, I'm not now. I have to come up with one in the next.
Well, I know, but I was like thinking
it could be anything.
There's like I know. But so but the thing that just like popped out to me, like for the most thing, like standing for something that like, you know, maybe people don't enjoy as much and like maybe they don't understand the value of it. And I would say from this 90s guy, right? Like I'm standing for a little pop music, right? Like I love pop songs. I love pop radio. I love that kind of shit, especially having two small children in my car, you know, a lot of the time when I'm listening to the radio, having a song that is catchy, that I can listen to with my girls and whatever has been a big like thing. And then from a guy who would not listen to music if it got so many plays on the radio, that's saying something, right? Like now I'm listening to Olivia Rodrigo. The other day we were out on the loaf patio and he played some pop music song and I'm like, oh yeah. And then we were only two out of everybody that's there going, fuck yeah.
Two big fat motherfuckers, middle-aged guys
yes.
Get down to some pop music. Yep.
It was weird, but it was so comfortable because that's what pop music is. It's just very comfortable. Like I don't know. I can't explain it. And my high school self would hate me, but it's like I kind of can get down with like these stupid ass goofy songs that are on the radio that I hear repeated every hour and a half. So yeah, I'm gonna stand for pop music. So I don't know. I know Loaf's in my boat, so I don't even have to really worry about it.
Let me go first. I'll back
Nancy
you up.
Pants might not like it.
I mean, to myself, you know, we make content and shit. We, you know, this is one of our things that we do and make content. And always what I tell myself is you just got to write one good hook. Just write one good hook. And that's what pop music is. If you write a good, super sweet hook that everyone gets down on, you got a hit song. You got something, you made something. It's hard to do. You know, we overrate the fact that pop music's always there, but everyone's shooting to be that person. And it's really difficult to write that great hook, that great pop song, that bubble gum that everyone wants to sing along to. And so I fucking love that shit. And
this is where we're gonna disagree. and here's the problem, right? Is like the people you're listening to most likely did not write that hook.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wrote it. It doesn't matter who wrote it.
It kind of does though, if you're going from that perspective, right? Like all you got to do is write that one good hook. Yeah, like the same person probably wrote all the good hooks that you heard on the radio today. Like there's probably like four people that wrote that good hook. You don't know who the fuck those people are.
It doesn't matter.
I think it should. I think you should know who those people are. That's what I'm saying. Is like
I can go look them up if I want to, but
I'm not saying like I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you personally should just like go find them.
Your thought is
those people should be more famous than they are.
Your thought is that the artist should write the song and the artist can't be
no. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is that you're saying all you got to do is write that one good hook. But that person writing that good hook does not get the fame that they should. I think that like the people should know who those people are too.
Are those people that write
they get paid?
I was gonna say, are they penniless and insane right
now?
No,
they're the ones that make the majority of the money.
They got a place in Palo Alto and they're okay.
I'm sure they're fine. But to me, it seems like the fortune is probably there. The fame is not, and maybe they don't want it. You know, it's very possible that's not what they want. But like, I think that like you should know that like, you know, like they should make it a little more public. You know, like when Aerosmith has 4 hits off an album, you should know that Tommy Shaw wrote them. You shouldn't, you know, like
Exactly.
Tommy Shaw does want to be famous, by the way. So like I like
The wife's giving away his shit.
Don't make him your battle cry, by the way, here. Hey, you know when they're famous, Treasy? You know what circle they're famous in? The motherfucker's looking for a songwriter. They're real famous in that circle. They'll find that motherfucker in that circle, all right? You know, everyone doesn't have to be famous in every circle, you know?
And Treasy brings up a good point. And then the 90s kind of comes out of me in a little bit. And I would think, and as a young kid that didn't know a lot, like you thought everybody wrote their own shit. And most of
we all did. Yeah, we thought
both like Nirvana and Soundgarden and all those guys, they all wrote their own shit, right? For the most part. And so I always thought like, yeah, you got to be dual. But then when you get into pop stuff, you don't necessarily need that. So it's more of a performance. Treasy, I'm going to break this down because the 108 is good at one thing and one thing only, and it's analogies, okay? Listen, J-Mag didn't invent fucking, but you can't own the fucking that he does on them tapes. So there's a performance aspect of it, and putting their own spin on that to make it happen. So that's all I got to say. You know, MSS out, I guess.
Sure. I just think that there's some people that are out there that are pop stars who don't really bring anything to the table. Maybe looks. And I think that there are other pop stars out there that are incredible singers that no one could do what they do, or incredible dancers that no one could perform like they perform up on stage. But there's definitely motherfuckers out there that just happen to get a song written for them and they look good or something.
I don't disagree with you, but it's different than us just enjoying the end product.
Yeah, no,
You know,
I don't have
you're
a
totally
problem
right.
with it.
Like there's yeah.
It's just part of the reason that I can't enjoy it as much as I probably should. And that's my thing.
Wait till he gets older, then he's gonna mellow out.
I'm way older than you guys.
If you had 2 small children in the
mellowing
back
out.
singing some Meghan Trainor, you'd be like, all right, I get into this.
I don't think so.
Probably not. No.
So
He's
that's
like,
never gonna
fuck you. We're listening to Black Hole Sun. Shut that shit off.
You know what it is? I'm just a huge Desmond Child fan. You know, that's at the end of the day, and I'm just that's who I'm gonna stand for. No,
the Cardigans. Fucking Tim, you've been pulling some shit tonight. I love it. You pulled out the you trying to arrange marriages of my children's when I was blacked out, and that was perfect. So Tim, congratulations. You win the chat in my eyes tonight. Hopefully it's not some songwriter or chat writer writing your shit for you and you're just putting it up. I hope you're getting your justice.
Yeah, hopefully it's written by you. That's right.
Terezi, who you fucking standing for, motherfucker?
You know what? I've brought this up before, but it was just a quick bit. But I'm gonna bring it up again. You know why? Because I think it needs to be said. I stand for Guy Fieri.
Oh, God, this guy. Oh my God! Are you trying to kill me tonight? Trying to kill me. All right, cool. Let's go.
Fucking guy is a tremendous entertainer. You guys like pop music. You should fucking love Guy Fieri. He is an absolute entertainer. And the guy, like, one, it just like me, fucking hates eggs. All right. So
I knew that was coming.
We're paisans.
That's the only reason. Only reason.
But like every show, he's got like 9 shows. They're all I watch all of them. I enjoy the guy. I enjoy the hell out of the guy. And people are embarrassed to enjoy the hell out of the guy because he's got like frosted tips. So that somehow makes him a fucking ridiculous person. Or he wears like True Religion jeans. So we should just fucking kill him. Right? Like, fuck that. The guy's entertaining. The guy makes good food. He's a good chef. I enjoy all the shit that he does. And he helps out all kinds of local fucking diners. Yeah. Look at that.
Name one.
That is important. So Smoke up on the north side, like he went there and that fucking place exploded. There was lines out the fucking door forever to that place. I tried to go there, and the shit, I had to stand in line on like a Tuesday at 3 p.m. for like 25 minutes to get some fucking barbecue. This was a few years ago. This was a few years ago.
Because I went there and I walked right the fuck in.
I ain't going a lot of places right now to go get food. Well, yeah, everywhere is fucking no line now because you can't.
Not today. I'm talking when I first moved here, 2012 or whatever.
Regardless, any place
that might have been Smoke Daddy though. That might not be.
Not
Smoke Daddy. It's totally different place.
You gotta respect this motherfucker because he always puts his money where his mouth is.
It's true.
You know, like and you're right, Treasy. He kind of brought sort of that genre up, you know, and so that it's in everyone's consciousness now. Everyone, when they go to a town, they want to see what are the places that were on his show, and they want to go and hit those places, eat at those places. And it feels like that's really a grassroots thing. He didn't pick the fucking highest name brand or some potentially, you know, like some celebrity chef that's going to pay him. He picked fucking places that have been there for a million years, and people that's like their family been running that restaurant for 60 years and shit. And those are the places he goes to eat. So like, he's really got like, there's a, you know, there's a erudition to this. Like he's really dug into this. Like this is really his area. So yeah, I love it. And I love the frosted tips. Fuck it, man. What's wrong with peacocking a little bit, all right? I do that shit. I'll continue to do that. I wore goddamn orange shoes last night, yesterday to that thing, and Treasy predicted it. And I was waiting for someone to talk shit. As I would say, this is what peacocking is when you're in your 40s and you're a dad. You wear the fucking bright colored shoes and fuck everybody. How about that?
I mean, now, okay. All right. You guys brought up some good points. Beer Garden Jim, I don't give a fuck how much millions he raised for anybody. There's tons of people that raise millions of dollars for other people, and people still
there's not.
hate them. Yes, there is. People fucking hate Barstool. Barstool literally raised millions of dollars for people during the pandemic, saved fucking bars, saved a goddamn bar up the street from our fucking house, and people fucking hate them. So like you can't be like, well, they did this, and then
you named one.
Good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that that is not necessarily that's not a barometer that you can judge if you're doing something good by, you know, because people will be like, oh, well, there's still an asshole in this regard. Like this doesn't sell. So anyway, Jim, I'm not picking on you. You just happen to put that out there. I've actually agreed with a lot of things you said tonight. So don't just take it easy before you start yelling at me. But anyway, no, I'm not going to sit here and unstand fucking Guy Fieri. I just think he's just kind of a douche. And I think his whole market is a douche, but like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, it's not trying to be something it's not, I guess, but I don't think that he's saving the world. You know, I don't think that he's doing something like
I didn't say he's saving the world, nor is pop music.
Pop music might save the world. I mean, you don't know.
No, Bill and Ted's music can save the world. That's about it.
I can't believe we got a 300-pound man here sitting and saying he doesn't like diners. Like what is going on here in this? Right? What the
It's not that I don't. About? It's not that I don't like diners. And I mean, I never got into the show. It was never a thing. I never was like, oh, I'm gonna watch people eat food and see how it is. Like I just don't get it. Like I really don't. I don't know. Like I'd rather go eat that food, and then I would rather go someplace and ask the people there, like, hey, where should I go? And if somebody goes, hey, you should go to this restaurant that Guy Fieri went to, I'd be like, fuck that. I don't want to go there. I want to go somewhere where it's not like, I don't know. That's probably my 90%.
Counterculture. He's counterculture.
Yes.
You want exactly what the show's telling you, but you want someone worse at it.
I know. I know.
Amazing.
I don't know. I just think it is what it is. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna. I can't get too worked up about it either way. I'm kind of like right in the middle. I'm like very like mellow or not mellow. What's that? Lukewarm. I'm lukewarm on everything. Shout out Brewhand Luke. I don't know, man. I'm trying and I can't get it. I don't know. So, hey, can we go over some things that we might have stand for and that we decided not to?
I mean, you work here, so go ahead.
If you have some,
I mean, we could. Like other ideas that I had. Like I was gonna throw out Tony La Russa. And not in a specific way, but I was gonna say, oh, manager actually matters in baseball, because I feel like the last 2 years of Ricky Renteria's, I was like, managers don't even really matter. And now I think they kind of do matter. Like, I think he's made it like kind of a difference, like has shown me that there's a difference there. And another one that I was going to do, and I almost did it and I didn't, was new metal. Like, for some reason, like before these shows, it's a long playlist of Korn and Limp Bizkit. Just weird fucking music, just to like get me into some weird ass mood.
Save
like,
that for the next
get
one.
out. I don't know why.
I feel like Limp Bizkit is a tough one to stand for after that Woodstock '99 documentary.
Well, you know what though? I'm gonna put this out there, and I think we talked about it earlier. Like,
You're gonna regret putting this out there.
they're not 100% to blame. I think the people that put on the show might share a lot of that blame. Like charging, $8 for a water, having it on asphalt, and like just all sorts of weird, bad shit that was going. Like, it wasn't just, Fred Durst going, fuck you, I'm going to rile these guys up. It was everything kind of together. And like the bad shit didn't even really go down after Limp Bizkit. It went down like 2 days later. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. It went down after the Chili Peppers. So if we're going to blame Fred, then we got to blame the Chili Peppers too, because they went out and played Fire while they were burning shit down, for God's sake. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's just a eat them before they're dead thing. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Eat them before they're dead. I don't know where that is.
I'm throwing it back to the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. You said that the cannibalism was one of the worst things that Dahmer did. I'm saying I don't know if it necessarily was. I think the sex zombie thing was probably the worst thing. The abduction was probably the worst.
That's not what I said.
Eating of the dead body.
That's not quite what I said. What I said was
pretty much
can't compare Jeffrey Dahmer to these other people that we were talking about as bad people.
You can't.
Regardless
of
what they
the
did.
Situation, though. No, not even the situation. No, it's not even the.
There's not a way to glaze over Jeffrey Dahmer, no matter what faction of his life you put out on trial.
What you were saying, the way that my brain works is that you were saying, what's the most who shares the most responsibility in this matter? And I was saying, you can't necessarily say that Limp Bizkit on a Friday caused all the turbulence that went down on a Sunday. Like, it's not related.
Again, not what I was saying. I was saying,
what did you say?
I said you were talking about listening to Limp Bizkit and standing for Limp Bizkit, and I was saying
no, new metal,
probably,
yeah.
But you only named two bands. So you named Korn and Limp Bizkit. So I was just saying it's tough to stand for Limp Bizkit right now with that documentary in the ether.
And then I said that I don't think that they caused all the shit that went down though at the end, which was like the big thing.
Sure. I mean, like, I haven't watched it. I've only heard. So
you gotta watch it.
It sounds like they were not put in a good light. Were they the heroes of the documentary?
They were not the heroes of the documentary.
Then I think it's a tough time to stand for them.
Non-heroes.
But I also don't think that you could then like look. I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is the Chili Peppers, and you need to watch the documentary. The Chili Peppers did the same thing Limp Bizkit did, but get none of the flack. The promoters came to Limp Bizkit and said, hey, it's getting fucking hectic out there. Fucking calm it down. And then they went out and fucking did not calm it down. Same thing happened Sunday night with the closing Red Hot Chili Peppers. Hey, it's fucking shit's on fire out there. Calm the shit down. And you have the Peppers go out and play fucking Fire by Jimi Hendrix. So
I get it. And if I stand for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I would understand.
I understand. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm standing. Can we cut all this out?
Why do you like Limp Bizkit so much? Is my question.
It's not that I like Limp Bizkit. It's just something about this fucking new metal, like stupid new metal that like taps into like some fucking like caveman, like fucking like, you know what I mean? Like,
I want to see,
and it just gets you going. Like, to be honest, like I'm not. And you saw what happened when you had all these fucking bands at Woodstock '99. What happens when you have these new metal bands and this anger and this angst with like fucking white men, you know, with like that are dehydrated and are drinking Bud Light, like are going out and want to fucking destroy shit. Like it just gets there's some primal thing to it that taps into it. Like, and I can't explain it, but break stuff every once in a while before the show gets it fucking going. Like it just does. Like it gets you into a mood to like, you know, have it happen, you know? So I don't know. I could probably do it with other people, with other bands, like a Smashing Pumpkins, like a Cherub Rock or something that builds up into something to like kind of get me ready. But it's just so much quicker when you just have the sounds of West Borland like blaring out of your fucking headphones and you get right into the zone. I don't know. I can't explain.
I mean, honestly, I just want to see this mix. Like I want you to share the Spotify mix, the Spotify new metal mix that you listen to while you play with Beanie Babies before you get psyched up for the
today it was today I did a Little Limp Bizkit. I think I did Rollin' first, and then I think I went to Corn Blind, which is the Are You Ready? That one. And then I went into some Tantric, as you know that I like the Tantric. And then Days of the New. I also went
I don't think Days of the New is new metal.
I had fucked up because I thought they were Puddle of Mud, not Days of the New. But then when I saw whatever crazy was it Crazy Bitch or something by Puddle of Mud? I don't know. I was just like, no, that's not the band that I was thinking of. So I had to go back to Days of the New. So yeah, and then I don't know what I ended on. I think I ended on Tantric. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
Buck Cherry, you're right, Fids. There's some other one. I can't remember.
Well, I think we're gonna end it at Buck Cherry. Fellas, quite a show tonight. Good 2.5 hours. It was great to have on K-Fids and Aldo. Thanks again to those guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Talked a lot of baseball tonight. And man, I'm looking forward to the series this weekend. I hope everyone is. And you guys will see people out at the park. I will be watching from afar, but I will be having fun nonetheless. So everyone, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you.
Cheers.